Copy successful. Chen Yang's heart raced with excitement, as if he had just awakened his talent for the very first time. But this time, it was different. He had copied the one talent most men could only dream of, clairvoyance. His fingers twitched. Should I test it out? I'll just peek at buildings, not people. Totally harmless. After 10 seconds of mental back and forth, curiosity won. Chen Yang activated the talent. In an instant, the world shifted. The towering warrior building transformed in his vision, its walls stripped away layer by layer into digital outlines. He could see through walls, corridors, and even people, but not in the lecherous way he'd feared. Instead, every person appeared as a glowing silhouette, their internal structures visible as if they were transparent models. Organs, meridians, blood vessels, all exposed to his mind's eye. What fascinated him most was the glowing gas-like energy within each figure's dantian. Some were faint, others shone like miniature suns. Most were yellow, but a few flickered in different hues: red, green, blue, even violet. With a few mental tweaks, Chen Yang learned to control the depth of vision. Through experimentation, he slowly pieced it together. Yellow chi equals vitality. Colorful chi equals innate talents. And shockingly, warriors had dazzling vitality, unlike regular people. That's when it hit him. Wait, if I can see others' talents, did Aunt Zhou see mine? His heart thumped. If someone could peer into his body and discover that he held over a dozen talents, they might haul him away for research. Frantically, he looked inward with his own perspective talent. Strangely, all he could see was a thick mass of yellow vitality. No colored chi, no sign of his other talents. Strange, he murmured, but it was a relief. Whatever concealed his talents was protecting him. For now, as he exited the warrior building, two familiar figures waved at him from the lobby chairs. Chen Yang. That was quick, called Li Weixin, flicking away his cigarette. Beside him, Zhang Han grinned. Our little warrior's already making headlines. Before Chen Yang could speak, a well-dressed man in a suit hurried over. Hello, I'm from the Liu family. We'd love to have you as a family guardian. Generous pay, personal villa, luxury car. I saw him first. Another suited man pushed in. Don't listen to them. Our family offers double the salary and a bonus. One by one, representatives from various families swarmed him like sharks sensing blood. 20,000 per month, a personal apartment, and we'll even register your family into the inner city, one of them promised, eyes gleaming. Chen Yang's scalp tingled. He hated this kind of attention. To escape, he politely took down their contact numbers with vague promises to consider it later. After the crowd dispersed, Li Weixin clapped him on the shoulder. Popular now, aren't we? Chen Yang sighed. Don't tease me. I'm just a warrior. I don't know how I got so much attention. Zhang Han chuckled. You should thank me for your fame. My little boast about you worked wonders. Boast? I nearly fainted when I heard my name trending. Zhang shrugged. Speaking of which, have you thought about your next move? Chen Yang scratched his head. Honestly, no. Too many offers. I'm from the outer zone. I've never faced temptation like this. Zhang leaned in. How about joining the army? National service, inner city residence, stable income. 20,000 a month. Or come to my martial arts hall, Li Weixin interrupted. You get to train, teach a bit, and live a peaceful life. Unlike the military, you could die on a mission. You trying to scare him off? Zhang Han snorted. Just telling the truth. Chen Yang rubbed his temples. Both paths had pros and cons. The martial hall meant safety. The army meant glory and risk. Let me think it over, he said. My mind's a mess. No pressure, Li Weixin nodded. If you choose us, you know where to find me. Zhang handed him a card. Same here. If you pick the army, give me a call. Later that afternoon, Chen Yang slipped into the city mall. With money in his pocket and confidence in his step, he splurged. New clothes, masks, even 4 high-end smartphones. By the time he got home, the sun was setting. His mother opened the door, eyes widening at the mountain of shopping bags. You spoiled your sister again, she scolded playfully. I got something for all of you. He handed out the phones, one each for his parents and a special edition for his younger sister. Where did you get the money? his father asked, puzzled. Return it, his mother added. This is too expensive. What if someone steals it? Chen Yang smiled. Relax. I passed the warrior assessment today. These gifts are part of the rewards. Oh, and we were granted a house in the inner city. We move in 2 days. I knew my brother would make it, squealed Chen Yuling from his sofa, her joy lighting up the room. His father's voice softened. Even so, don't be wasteful. But your heart is in the right place. Wife, accept the gift. Mother Chen hesitated, then opened the box. The crystal blue phone gleamed in her hands. At dinner, meat filled the table. Since Chen Yang started earning, every meal had improved. His sister looked healthier, and his parents less weary. Mom, Dad, Chen Yang said between bites. Once we move to the inner city, you don't need to work anymore. I'll take care of everything. His father sighed. We're used to this place. Inner city life might be too different. It's safer, and I'll be earning, well, 20,000 a month now. His mother dropped her chopsticks. 20,000? Just wait till we move, Chen Yang grinned. That's only the beginning. I'm still deciding between joining the military or a martial arts academy. Either way, I'll be assigned a villa. Chen Yang explained the wave of invitations he'd received from major forces. Huh, a warrior in our family. Who would have thought? Father Chen's face lit up, joy blooming in every wrinkle. They had never dared to dream about living in the inner city, much less owning a villa. In the future, money won't be a problem for us anymore. Here, Chen Yang pulled out his phone. I'm transferring 100 million to your account. What? Father and Mother Chen nearly jumped out of their seats. You keep it. Cultivation costs a fortune. Mother Chen protested. Chen Yang smiled calmly and tapped open his account balance. 390 million. The room fell silent. Eyes widened. Even his little sister's jaw dropped. I'll take Yuling to the hospital tomorrow. Her leg will recover. I promise. You've grown up, Father Chen whispered, lighting a cigarette with trembling hands. Chen Wei gets to enjoy blessings in this life, after all. We should host a banquet, Chen Yang added, to thank all the neighbors who helped us when times were hard. Yes, absolutely. Father Chen clapped. Back then, even when we couldn't afford medical bills, they were there for us. It's time we repay the kindness. Chen Yang laughed. This time we won't skimp. Meat for everyone. Beside them, Mother Chen wiped away happy tears. That night, Chen Yang couldn't sleep. His thoughts wrestled between two paths, the military or a martial arts hall. To clear his mind, he sat down cross-legged and began cultivating. He had already mastered the Yuan Qi art, and now he was advancing in Yuanli control, a high-level technique. Within minutes, he entered a small cycle of circulation, his speed shocking even himself. The first layer of Yuanli control focused on transforming the entire body into a vessel for Yuan Qi. Once fully saturated, that energy would begin condensing into liquid form, the hallmark of the second layer. As the energy coursed through him, his body surged with power. His recovery rate soared. If drained, he could now return to full strength in less than an hour. Let's expand the meridians today, he decided. Under his will, Yuan Qi pulsed through every corner of his body, opening minor meridians one after another. By dawn, his vitality had nearly doubled. Looking inward, he could see his chest glowing with Yuan Qi. Even his organs were improving. Once his upper body was fully saturated, he would channel it into his arms, then legs, until his whole body overflowed with power. Maybe I can reach the second layer in just 2 weeks. He stretched, invigorated by the sleepless night of cultivation. The smell of freshly cooked noodles filled the house. Breakfast was richer than usual. Beef noodles topped with 2 perfect poached eggs. Yuling, here's your milk. Chen Yang tossed her a bottle. Brother, are we moving today? She asked with a grin. Chen Yang froze. He'd spent all night cultivating and still hadn't made a final decision. Let's hold the banquet first. After that, we'll move. But deep down, his decision had already crystallized. He had once been a firefighter in his past life, a protector. Now, in a world where beasts rampaged and warriors fought on the front lines, how could he sit on the sidelines? He was a protector still. I'll join the army. The military would grant him access to resources, experience, and a chance to defend the people. After breakfast, Chen Yang called Zhang Han. "You've made your choice?" Zhang's voice on the other end sounded odd. "Yeah, I think the military suits me best." "Oh, poor me." Chen Yang blinked. "What happened? Just get over here. Some people want to meet you." That piqued his curiosity. If Zhang Han was this flustered, the visitors must be serious figures. "All right, on my way." Half an hour later, Chen Yang arrived at the Warrior Building, masked and unnoticed, mostly. People still crowded outside, gossiping about yesterday's combat assessment. His own profile was plastered on the wall like a legend in the making. "Did I go overboard yesterday?" he muttered. "I saw it." His punch made a sonic boom, a girl outside exclaimed to her friend. "I still get chills thinking about it." Chen Yang spotted Zhang Han and walked over. "Instructor Zhang, seriously, what's with all this fuss?" "Don't call me that." Zhang looked around warily. "You're basically a celebrity now." He led Chen Yang into the elevator. Once inside, Chen Yang pulled off his mask. "How's the life of a rising star?" Zhang teased. "As long as no one finds out where my family lives, I'll survive." Zhang laughed. "You may not have taken the official test, but your combat data is already public. Everyone knows you're the most promising genius in Yinqing. A 19-year-old martial master. I wouldn't be surprised if your cultivation talent is top tier. Want to test it?" Chen Yang immediately shook his head. Zhang raised an eyebrow. "There aren't many like you. Even those with advanced talents usually take a full year just to become warriors. Martial masters? That takes at least 2. You've only trained for what, 2 months? You're a monster." Chen Yang gave a sheepish laugh and didn't answer.
Hey, welcome to Firescale Audiobooks. If you enjoy our audiobooks, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, feel free to share your review in the comments section below.
Ding! The elevator came to the 10th floor. Zhang Han led Chen Yang into an office where a man and a woman were sitting. Their postures seemed very leisurely. "Brother Chen, this is Chen Yang." Zhang Han said to the man with a hint of displeasure on his expression. "Sit down, Han. Don't be so hostile to me. You also know that those who can join us are not ordinary people." Brother Chen stretched out his hand to invite everyone to sit on the casual sofa. "Let me introduce myself. My name is Han Shun, and this is Han Mingxi. We are from the Yinqing United Team." "What is the Joint Team?" Chen Yang didn't know why and asked. "The Joint Team is an army that is officially organized by the country, and only special talents are eligible to join our team. Every team member is a key training target of the country. This time, I also want to invite you to become a 5th-level member of the Yinqing United Team." Han Chen explained. "Then what do I usually need to do?" Chen Yang asked. "Our team will go out to perform missions from time to time. There are no restrictions in normal times. Just concentrate on cultivation. Our team benefits are very good. In addition to a villa, we also have vehicle delivery and a monthly salary of 30 yuan. In addition, every time you participate in a mission, there will be special rewards after the mission is successful. Most of what we do is related to the survival and development of Yinqing. I don't know if you understand it." Chen Yang looked at Han Shun in surprise. Just listening to this treatment, it was obviously the best condition among all the forces that invited him. "Why did you invite me?" Chen Yang asked curiously. "Because your potential is good." The woman next to Han Chen spoke. "If nothing else happens, you can at least become a great martial artist." Chen Yang just laughed when he heard this. Great martial artist? It shouldn't be difficult. Chen Yang checked their talents. Human, Han Shun. Cultivation talent, top talent. Special talent, strength advanced, speed, top, super sensory, top. Human, Han Mingxi. Cultivation talent, top talent. Special talents, strength advanced, speed advanced, power of space, top level. What kind of gods are these? Chen Yang was shocked. Could it be that there are monsters like this in the joint team? The reason why Chen Yang was surprised was because he seldom saw top-level cultivation talents, except for the Zhou Chu he met yesterday. Today, 2 top-level cultivation talents suddenly appeared, and even the special talents are top-notch, which shows that these 2 are the only 1 in a million cultivation geniuses. "I'll join," Chen Yang suddenly replied. "Huh, so fast." Han Shun seemed to have prepared a lot of rhetoric. but he didn't expect it to be useless. Although you agreed to join the joint team, the team still has an assessment for you. Let me try your strength first. I hope you won't let me down. Han Mingxi said. At this, Chen Yang asked suspiciously, Go to the basement, the place there is stronger. Zhang Han seemed to be a little afraid of Han Mingxi. Could this Han Mingxi be a great martial artist? Chen Yang thought curiously. Is she trying to tease me? Or should I refuse? Don't worry. I will suppress my strength to the great fighters. Han Mingxi seemed to have heard Chen Yang's heart, and Chen Yang nodded helplessly. No, I have to copy her talent first. If she uses her space talent, I might not even be able to touch her. Several people entered the elevator, and Chen Yang pretended to touch Han Mingxi and Han Chen. Copy succeeded. Is it integrated with top cultivation talent? Fusion. Chen Yang had a headache and almost fainted to the ground. Fortunately, I held on to the railing in time, and the tingling in my brain passed quickly. Successful integration evolved into a low-level perception. Chen Yang quickly checked his talent. Human. Chen Yang. Cultivation talent. Low-level comprehension. Special talent. Copy. Talent can be copied by touching the target. Similar talents can be fused. There's a chance to evolve into a higher talent. Unawakened talents cannot be copied. Speed talent. Low-level comprehension. There is a chance to comprehend the speed force. Strength talent. Advanced. Ice talent. Advanced. Water elemental medium. Fire elemental medium. Bloodthirsty top. Toughness medium. Plant control moderate. Coercion low. Wind elemental medium. Mindfulness medium. Perspective advanced. Teleportation advanced. Super sensing top. Space force top level. Here we are. Here we go. Chen Yang looked up and saw that there were 3 floors underground. Stepping out of the elevator, Han Mingxi took off his coat. Han Mingxi was wearing a pure white tights, paired with a pair of blue jeans. Chen Yang looked pleasing to the eye. Are you ready? Han Mingxi asked. Ready. Chen Yang doesn't have ink marks either. If it's just to test his own strength and speed, he won't be afraid at all. I heard that you can exert a strength of 2,400 kilograms with a full blow, so I will suppress the strength at 2,400 kilograms. As soon as Han Mingxi finished speaking, the whole person rushed over like an arrow. Chen Yang didn't expect Han Mingxi to rush over so quickly. He raised his hand to block, only to see a powder fist hit Chen Yang's arm, and Chen Yang retreated 4 or 5 meters in a row. Interesting. Han Mingxi quickly disappeared in front of Chen Yang. This is not the power of space, and the pure speed is extremely fast. Super sensing. Chen Yang seemed to have eyes on his back, and Han Mingxi's leg wiped the corner of Chen Yang's clothes, leaving nothing. Han Mingxi didn't stop attacking. Seeing that her right leg was missing, she quickly adjusted her posture and hit the ground with force. Due to the super sensor, Chen Yang had already discovered Han Mingxi's intentions. Well done. Origin Chi Fist. Chen Yang wrapped the wind element around his right arm as an acceleration force. After practicing Yuanli control yesterday, Chen's Yuanqi fist was twice as powerful as before. If yesterday's strength was still 2,400 kilograms, today's punch would be as high as 3,000 kilograms. Boom! The 2 fists collided, and there was an explosion in the air. A bright figure stepped back a dozen steps. Han Chen's eyes widened, and it was Han Mingxi who fell behind. Don't let the water go, Han Chen shouted. Hearing this sentence, Han Mingxi blushed with anger. Who said this kid's strength is only 2,400 kg? If it weren't for my rich experience, I would have made a fool of myself just now. How did he predict my attack? Han Mingxi was very puzzled. Although she suppressed her strength to the great warrior, it didn't mean her reaction belonged to the great warrior too. I'm going to use my talent. Han Mingxi suddenly disappeared in place. Chen Yang was taken aback. This is the teleportation of the power of space. Chen Yang was kicked. Although he found where Han Mingxi appeared, his body couldn't keep up with his brain. Don't hide it. Use all your strength. Han Mingxi was very curious about Chen Yang's talent. How did he know that Chen Yang was thinking about which talent he should show off at this time? There is no way to prevent this teleportation unless I know her whereabouts. Chen Yang gradually had a plan in his mind. He wanted to defeat Han Mengshi the moment she appeared. Chen Yang also had the power of space in his body at this time, but he didn't dare to use it at all. The only thing he has used in front of others is the fire element. If there is a second or even a third talent, he is afraid that he will be arrested. Although you can't use teleportation, you should be able to find Han Mengshi's foothold in advance with a super sensor and the power of space, and then give her a punch. At this time, Chen Yang didn't feel sorry for Flowers and Jade, let alone the other party was a martial artist. Han Mengshi disappeared again, and Chen Yang carefully felt the changes in the power of space. In the rear left, Chen Yang turned around quickly, but his speed was still a bit slower, and he got kicked again. What? Han Mengshi found that Chen Yang's reaction speed had improved a lot. When he first used teleportation, Chen Yang was still looking at the front stupidly. But with the next few kicks, Chen Yang can always find himself faster, as if he knows where he will appear. The last time, Chen Yang concentrated his energy. He exerted the power of space and super sensing to the extreme. Finally, he caught a trace of Han Mengshi's disappearance. Above, although Han Mengshi hadn't appeared yet, Chen Yang had a strong premonition that she would definitely attack from above. And wind element, fire element, bloodthirsty, Yuanli control, Yuanqi fist. Chen Yang's right hand ignited a flame at some point, and the wind element was mixed in the flame. This punch that gathered all the talents roared into the air after being filled with vitality. What is he doing? Zhang Han was puzzled, but Han Chun was surprised because he had a premonition that Han Mengshi would definitely appear in that position. Oh! As soon as Han Mengshi appeared, she saw a ball of fiery fists in front of her eyes. She had no time to react and watched helplessly as the fist hit her body, and she flew tens of meters away. This feeling, why doesn't it seem right? Chen Yang was a little puzzled looking at the flying figure. Asshole! Han Mengshi cursed suddenly, and she disappeared in front of everyone without a trace. Chen Yang and the others were left feeling the back of their heads in bewilderment. Interesting. Seeing that Han Mengshi disappeared, Han Chen commented slowly. Wow, Chen Yang, you are so powerful. You actually beat the tigress away. Zhang Han exclaimed. What tigress? Chen Yang asked curiously. Just Han Mengshi. She is the fiercest woman in the joint team. I didn't expect you to be able to subdue her. I really envy you. Zhang Han looked at Chen Yang adoringly, but his eyes were more gloating. It's over. I seem to have done something that shouldn't be done. Chen Yang recalled the touch and position just now, and had a bad guess in his heart. Brother Chen, may I ask what strength is she? Chen Yang asked. You're almost a martial artist. Han Chen said calmly. He seemed to be mourning for Chen Yang as well. Well, can I quit now? Chen Yang said softly. Then you'll die even worse. Oh, don't worry. She will train you at most. Han Chen patted Chen Yang on the shoulder and walked toward the elevator. Haha. Half an hour later, Han Mengshi sat in the office with a livid face. Zhang Han and Han Chen thought that Han Mengshi just felt that he had lost face. If they knew the real situation, they would probably jump up in surprise. Han Mengshi had already changed into a black top. Although the weather was very hot, she was still wearing a coat. Since you have decided to join the joint team, after reading the contract, sign it here. Han Chen handed the tablet to Chen Yang and said. Chen Yang took the tablet and looked at the contents carefully. What does this 5th level player mean? Chen Yang asked. The joint team is divided into 1 to 6 levels of authority. Among them, the Great Warrior is the 5th level member, corresponding to the 5th level authority, and the Martial Artist is the 4th level member, corresponding to the 4th level authority. By analogy, the Martial Saint corresponds to the 1st level authority. As for the 6th level authority, it is prepared for other ordinary staff. Of course, these are not static. There are still many researchers in the joint team, and their authority is completely determined by their contribution. Han Chen explained. What are these permissions for? There are too many uses. We can enjoy the first batch of things from the research room. This requires permission. Many things that are not available in the market can be purchased internally through permission. You will know these things after you join. All right. Chen Yang paused, then signed his name on the tablet. Okay, I'll have someone deliver the keys to the villa and the car to you tomorrow. When you have time, I'll report after you move." Han Chen left the phone to Chen Yang and said. Chen Yang nodded and watched the two leave. "Oh, I didn't expect them to be fulfilled in the end," Zhang Han said helplessly. "Do you know each other?" Chen Yang asked. "I was also a member of the joint team before and was later assigned to the army as an instructor." "Then you must be very powerful," Chen Yang said in surprise. "What the heck? He can't even beat a woman," Zhang Han said in embarrassment. "Is that Han Mengxi very powerful?" Chen Yang asked curiously. "Does it need to be said? She is not far from a great martial artist, and her talent is among the highest in Yanqing. There is also that Han Chen. They have only practiced for 6 or 7 years, and in a few years they may break through to become a great martial artist," Zhang Han said enviously. "By the way, where's Aunt Zhou? The one on the 18th floor?" Chen Yang thought suddenly. "She, TSK. Let me tell you, don't tell others. That Sister Zhou is Li Weixin's lover, but unfortunately Li Weixin feels that she is not good enough for her. Because Li Weixin is only a martial artist, but that Sister Zhou has already broken through. He has become a great martial artist." Zhang Han knows quite a lot, but his mouth is not strict. Chen Yang put a label on Zhang Han in his heart. "By the way, Brother Zhang, do you know which hospital has better doctors?" Chen Yang asked. "What? Do you want to see a doctor?" Zhang Han looked at Chen Yang, and he didn't look sick either. "It's not me, it's my sister. My sister is also very talented in cultivation, but unfortunately her legs are paralyzed, and the family has never had money to treat her. Now that I have money, I will definitely find a doctor for her as soon as possible." Zhang Han's eyes lit up after hearing this. "You still have a younger sister. Your younger sister must be a genius. I made an appointment with you first. After she is cured, she must come to me. The horoscope has not been written yet." Chen Yang was speechless. "I know that a hospital is pretty good, but since you joined a joint team, you can directly go to the doctors in the team, and the doctors in the team are of a higher level," Zhang Han recommended. "Thank you, Brother Zhang. Then I will ask him now." Chen Yang hurriedly chased after him, but fortunately, Han Chen and Han Chen hadn't gone far. Hearing that Chen Yang had a sister who was paralyzed at home, Han Chen said without hesitation that he would go to see it with Chen Yang. Chen Yang glanced at Han Mengxi in embarrassment and saw her expression was cold, as if nothing had happened just now. "Mengxi, are you going too?" Han Chen looked at Chen Yang and then at Han Mengxi and asked, "Why are you not going?" Han Mengxi got into the car without looking back. Chen Yang was beating drums in his heart, and he could only pray in his heart that he would not be troubled in the future. After crossing the Yanghe River and coming to the slums, there were lights and festoons outside Chen Yang's house, and many reporters and various forces ran over. "Chen Yang is here. Chen Yang is here." I don't know who started shouting first. A large group of reporters scrambled to surround Chen Yang, who had just got off the car. "What's the situation?" Han Chen was stunned. Unexpectedly, Chen Yang didn't know what happened just like him. He didn't expect his father to invite his neighbors to dinner, but he told about his #1 exam. At first, no one believed it, but later they took out their mobile phones and compared the headlines, and it turned out that they were really the same person. As a result, more and more people came to give gifts to Chen Yang. During Chen Yang's absence, the parents were already very busy. "Excuse me, are you Chen Yang?" A reporter hurried forward and asked, but the camera crew behind him hadn't caught up yet. Chen Yang understood that many of these people came to invite him, and it happened that there were many reporters present, so he simply explained the fact that he joined the joint team so that no one would come to the door every day. "Yes, I am Chen Yang." Chen Yang closed the car door, and it took a few steps forward. "I heard that you became a great martial artist just after passing the assessment. Is this true?" A group of reporters surrounded him. "Although I haven't tested it yet, I have indeed reached the foundation of a great warrior. And now that I have joined a joint team, I can only say sorry for the invitation from other forces," Chen Yang explained. The reporters were shocked and hurriedly called their subordinates to publish the headlines. This was big news. After answering questions for half an hour, Chen Yang finally got rid of these reporters. "Mom and Dad, these two are members of the joint team. I invite them to come over and show Rain's spirit." Chen Yang invited Han Chun and Han Mingxi into the house and said to his parents, "Sit down, sit down." Chen's father hurriedly let the sofa out, and Chen's mother also brought tea and water. Chen Yuling looked at the two people in front of him curiously. The person who could be invited by his brother must have a different identity. "This is your sister?" Han Chen glanced at Chen Yuling in surprise. Although Chen Yuling's cultivation talent was not tested, through Chen Yuling's eyes, Han Chen also felt a trace of aura that was different from ordinary people. "Rain spirit? Can you let me test it for you?" Han Chen took out an instrument, and there was a small container at the front of the instrument, which was where the talent was tested by dripping blood. Chen Yuling nodded half understanding, and under Chen Yang's guidance, stretched out her finger and pressed in the container. There was a raised needle in the container, and as Chen Yuling pressed down with his finger, blood dripped into the container. After a few minutes, the instrument lights up a data. Cultivation talent. Advanced talent. As expected of a family, your sister's cultivation talent is actually a high-level talent. Han Chen looked at the data on the instrument and said in surprise, "Why do you surprise a high-level talent with a top-level talent?" Chen Yang complained to Han Chen in his heart. "Yuling, let me look at your legs for you." Han Mingxi suddenly said softly to Chen Yuling. Chen Yang couldn't help but sigh with emotion. How quickly women change their faces. Chen Yuling looked at Chen Yang, as if asking. Chen Yang nodded, and Chen Yuling leaned against Han Mingxi with a smile. Han Mingxi put her right hand on Chen Yuling's thigh, and a soft vitality poured into Chen Yuling's thigh. Her thigh meridians are all blocked, probably because of her special talent. After Han Mingxi inspected Chen Yuling's body, she said in surprise. Of course Chen Yang knew that Chen Yuling had a special talent, but he never thought that the unawakened special talent was the culprit that caused his sister's legs to be paralyzed. "Then, can the joint team cure her?" Chen Yang asked anxiously. "The dredging of the meridians cannot be cured by ordinary medical treatment, but you can rest assured that the people of the joint force must have a solution, and our joint team is only a part of the joint force." Han Mingxi introduced, but soon changed back to a cold face. Come, drink some water. Our family has nothing to entertain, only some freshly bought fruits." Mother Chen came over with a lot of things and said, "Auntie, you are too polite." Han Chen took it with a smile. "Why don't we have lunch, and we will go to the joint army together in the afternoon?" Chen Yang asked. He didn't want to delay for a moment. "I have no objection. There is nothing to do today anyway." Han Chen didn't care. Chen Yang looked at Han Mingxi in embarrassment, only to see Han Mingxi snorted, as if agreeing. An hour later, several people came out of Chen Yang's house after eating. I don't know if the lunch suits their appetite, but fortunately, Chen Yang bought a lot of dishes, so it shouldn't be too bad. Chen Yang carried his younger sister and put in the back seat of the car. The younger sister looked at the car curiously. This was the first time she had been in such a good car since she was born. The combined base is in the outer city, a place far from the slums. It was built like a military base outside. After Chen Yang asked, he found out that the Joint Force was the most powerful military base in Yinqing. And the Joint Team is a sharp blade of the Joint Force. Wherever there is trouble, the Joint Team will be sent out. After entering the interior of the base, I found that the base is very huge. In addition to the superficial buildings, there are several floors of underground research institutes. Chen Yang went down from the elevator with his sister and Han Chun on his back. Through the transparent window, he saw the weapon that was only introduced on TV. The elevator stopped at the third floor. Chen Yang went out and looked up. There were big characters of Special Medical Department written on his head. This is the medical department for practitioners, which is different from that used by ordinary people in the military. Han Chen explained. Walking into the gate, Chen Yang found that the place was arranged like a hotel, without the tension of a hospital at all. There are quite a lot of people in the medical department, and many officers in military uniforms are doing examinations in the medical department. Han Chen took Chen Yang to a professor's office, and there was a very beautiful young woman in her 30s wearing a white coat sitting inside. "Professor Gua, do you have time now?" Han Chen knocked on the door. The young woman raised her head, and there was an inexplicable starlight in her eyes. "Xiao Chun, what's the matter?" Before Han Chun could speak, the young woman quickly noticed the younger sister behind Chen Yang. This is Chen Yang, who has just joined the joint team, but he hasn't gone through the formalities yet. The one on his back is her sister, who can't practice because her legs are paralyzed. But I gave her a test, and she has a talent for advanced cultivation. No, I brought it here specially for you to see. Han Chun introduced with a smile, but his expression seemed to be a little evasive. I just wanted to find you. Since you were here, come over and draw some blood. The last experiment was used up, so I finally saw you once. The young woman looked at Han Chun with a fiery look in her eyes. Han Chun trembled all over and suddenly regretted coming over. Why did you forget this? Han Chun muttered. No wonder Han Mengshi disappeared halfway. It must be to stay away from this woman. It turned out to be a research madman. No wonder Han Chun was afraid. Chen Yang guessed from the expressions of the two of them, and at the same time, he also raised a little resistance to the young woman. She would not ask for her own blood to be drawn. Hurry up. Do you want me to see a doctor for this girl? Guiyu urged. Okay, Chen Yang, you owe me a big favor. Han Chun reluctantly sat in front of Guiyu, only to see Guiyu skillfully took out the blood-drawing needle and then drew a full 1,000 milliliters before letting Han Chun go. I'm going to die. I have to go get some nutrition. Han Chun left as if fleeing, and he still didn't forget to look back at Chen Yang, as if saying to remember this favor. After saving Han Chun's blood sample, Guiyu finally turned his attention to Chen Yang. You are Chen Yang? You can join the joint team. It seems that you have a high talent for cultivation. Guiyu looked at it and said, It's not bad, it's definitely not as tall as Han Chun. Chen Yang hurriedly said, Hee, am I so scary? Get to know me. My name is Guiyu, one of the professors of the Human Body Research Project. Guiyu said with a smile. Chen Yang subconsciously checked Guiyu's talent. Human, Guiyu. Cultivation talent, medium talent. Special talent, deep learning, advanced. Actually a cultivator? Chen Yang was a little surprised. At first, he was still thinking about how powerful such a young professor could be. It turned out that the professor had a special talent in the brain. Hello, my name is Chen Yang. I just joined the joint team. This is my younger sister, Chen Yuling. She has the talent for advanced cultivation, but she has been unable to practice because of paralysis. Chen Yang stretched out his hand. Guiyu glanced at Chen Yang in surprise, and then shook hands with Chen Yang with a smile, but she didn't know that her special talent was copied by Chen Yang. Copy succeeded. Human, Chen Yang. Cultivation talent, low-level comprehension. Special talent, duplicate. Speed talent, low-level comprehension. There is a chance to comprehend the speed force. Strength talent, advanced. Ice talent, advanced. Water elemental, medium. Fire elemental, medium. Bloodthirsty, top. Toughness, medium. Plant control, moderate. Coercion, low. Wind elemental, medium. Mindfulness, medium. Perspective, advanced. Teleportation, advanced. Super sensing, advanced. Space force, advanced. Deep learning, advanced. Another talent has been added. Try the effect later. Chen Yang was secretly happy. Bring her back to the medical room, and I'll take a look for you. When Guiyu heard that Chen Yuling had advanced cultivation talent, her interest was immediately attracted to her. Chen Yang came to the medical room with Chen Yuling on his back. There were more than a dozen rooms inside, and the equipment in each room seemed to be different. Put on that machine and let her lie down. Guiyu pointed to a machine not far from the entrance of the medical room. Although Chen Yang had never seen it before, a few words popped out subconsciously in his head. Full body detector. Don't be afraid, it will be fine soon. Chen Yang comforted his sister by putting her on the detector. Well, I'm fine, Chen Yuling said obediently. The detector was activated, and within 10 minutes, all of Chen Yuling's body data were displayed on the computer. Guiyu checked each result carefully, and she became more and more excited, as if she wanted to take Chen Yuling as a research object immediately. Professor Guo, what do you think? Seeing Guiyu's crazy expression, Chen Yang couldn't help asking. Her special talent is very powerful. If I guessed correctly, it was the awakening of the special talent that paralyzed her lower body. In the end, it created a strange balance. The special talent was not fully awakened, and her body was not completely paralyzed. Guiyu explained Chun Yuling's physical condition. You mean luckily she didn't have a special talent for awakening, otherwise she would have been paralyzed long ago? Chen Yang frowned and asked, this is not good news. That's because her bones are not fully developed. If I guess correctly, the time of paralysis should be when she was a child. Guiyu guessed. Well, when she was 7 years old. 9 years have passed since now. Chen Yang recalled. At that time, her physical fitness was too low to withstand the power of the special talent awakening. But now it is different. She has grown up. As long as she has the vitality to protect the meridians in her body and then awakens the special talent, it will not be a problem. Guiyu quickly gave a feasible solution. What do I need to do? Chen Yang asked quickly. It's not easy to say simple, and it's not difficult to say difficult. Guiyu took out a tube of potion from the laboratory cabinet, which was very similar to the potion Chen Yang drank. The weakened version of this breakthrough potion is used for normal experiments. Feed this to her, and then find a great martial artist to use vitality to clear her meridians. Great martial artist. Chen Yang didn't expect this matter to be so troublesome, and he didn't even know the great martial artist. If you want to invite a practitioner of this level to take action, you don't know how much you will have to pay. Is there no other way? Chen Yang asked quickly. Guiyu shook her head. The reason why the great martial artist is needed is because the great martial artist can feel every meridian of the patient. He needs to control the vitality to accurately open up the meridian of your sister's thigh. Only in this way can it be completely unblocked. If a martial artist comes to help, it's not impossible, but the effect will definitely be much worse. A martial artist can't feel all the meridians of the patient through his vitality, let alone unblock them all. After listening to Guiyu's explanation, Chen Yang sighed. The only great martial artist he knew was Zhou Chu on the 18th floor of the Warrior Building. But would Zhou Chu be willing to make a move? Wait, Zhou Chu. See through. Chen Yang suddenly thought of a talent he had just acquired. If he had the talent of clairvoyance, then it would not be a problem to observe all the meridians in his sister's body. But Chen Yang shook his head. He found a very embarrassing thing. Why not his brother? Although the perspective talent is very useful, the position is a bit awkward after all. Professor Gua, I don't know any great martial arts masters, so wouldn't it be impossible to cure her? Chen Yang said unwillingly. It's actually not difficult to open up the meridians, and some instruments can do it. But I'm afraid that after opening the meridians, she will awaken special talents, which will lead to sudden talent and meridian pulses. If you're not a great martial artist, it will be difficult to feel the changes in your body, and you'll be out of control at that time. You can ask that boy Han Shun. He might be able to help you. Guiyu thought about it. Brother, it's okay. Yuling is in no hurry. Seeing the distressed faces of the two, Chun Yuling comforted them. My brother will definitely find a way to cure you. Chen Yang carried his younger sister out of the instrument, and now he has two choices, either to ask a great martial artist for help, or to use his talent of clairvoyance to open up and sort out the meridians for his younger sister. Professor Gua, can you give me a bottle of this potion? Chen Yang asked. Okay, but you have to let me draw blood once. Guiyu said with bright eyes. Those who can join the joint team are very talented. How could Guiyu let go of such good material? Moreover, Chen Yang looked very young, which made Guiyu even more excited. Sure enough, I still can't escape. Chen Yang struggled. He was afraid that Guiyu would discover the secrets of his body through his blood, but thinking that his sister was more important, Chen Yang had to make a compromise. It's only -milliliters. If it's too much, I'm afraid I'll be anemic. Chen Yang bargained. Okay, let's start then. At some point, Guiyu had an extra blood-drawing needle in her hand. Seeing that Guiyu was ready, Chen Yang stretched out his hand helplessly. After the blood was drawn, Guiyu couldn't wait to take it for research. Chen Yang came out of the medical room with his sister on his back. He had a bottle of red breakthrough potion in his hand. I'll take you to report to Han Shun first, and we'll go home after completing the entry procedures. Chen Yang said to his sister on his back. Chen Yuling replied softly while lying on her back. After finally finding Han Shun, he saw Han Shun poking behind Chen Yang with sly eyebrows, as if he was avoiding something. That woman Guiyu didn't come with me, did she? Han Chen asked quickly. No, she took my blood and went to do research. Seeing Han Chen like this, Chen Yang couldn't help feeling that Han Chen was afraid of Guoyu. Seeing Chen Yang's expression, Han Chen knew what he was thinking without having to guess. Well, you'll know later. Stay away from that woman. If it wasn't for treating your sister, I wouldn't have met her. Knowing that Guoyu was not there, Han Chen relaxed a lot and laid down on the sofa. How is your sister? Can it be cured? Han Chen asked. It can be done, but it needs the help of a great martial artist. Chen Yang told Han Chen about his sister's situation. This is troublesome. There are a few great martial artists in the team, but you must pay a price if you want them to take action. Han Chen frowned, thinking about a solution. If you want to ask the great martial artist for help, what do you need? Chen Yang asked quickly. Dragging the meridians is not an easy task. It takes a lot of energy. No matter what, you need a high-level primordial stone. Han Chen said. Are high-grade primordial stones expensive? Chen Yang asked suspiciously. It's only 1,000 million. It will be almost enough after you complete the mission a few times. What's the use of that primordial stone? Chen Yang asked curiously. Han Chen knew that Chen Yang was from a slum, so he definitely didn't know about Yuanshu. Essence stones are divided into low-level essence stones, medium essence stones, high-level essence stones, and top-level essence stones. If a warrior wants to break through to a great warrior, there are generally two ways. One is to absorb the lower-level genetic potion, and the other is to absorb inferior primordial stones. A bottle of low-level genetic potion costs 100 million. Of course, this price is nothing to warriors. The corresponding low-level primordial stones cost and about 10 can help high-level warriors break through. But mid-level genetic potions are more expensive. A bottle costs more than 1,000 million. High-level genetic potions cost 1,000 million, and the corresponding high-level primordial stones cost million. If you want to break through, this genetic potion and primordial stones are essential. What if the talent is very good? Chen Yang asked. No matter how good the talent is, there will be a bottleneck. There is a mysterious element in the primordial stone which can enhance the understanding of vitality through absorption. Only when absorbing the primordial stone can one grasp a sliver of inspiration. Many people who want to break through the special talent warriors must rely on primordial stones. Isn't this the same as comprehension? Chen Yang muttered. What did you say? Han Chen asked suspiciously. It's nothing. It's only 1,000 million. I'll be able to get it all together in a short time. Chen Yang laughed. The mission will be very dangerous, right? Brother, it's better not to go. Rain spirit is used to it. Chen Yuling said worriedly. There won't be any great danger. The joint team is the strongest in Yinqing. Chen Yang scratched the bridge of his sister's nose with his fingers. Mr. Han, where is the report? Chen Yang asked. Don't call me sir. Our joint team doesn't pay much attention to these things. We are all brothers, so you could just call me Brother Chen. Han Chen told Chen Yang the location of the report. Chen Yang put Chen Yuling on the sofa temporarily, while he went to work first. Half an hour later, Chen Yang walked out of the office with a non-commissioned officer certificate of the joint team and 2 bunches of keys. Yuling, is this car handsome? Chen Yang pressed the unlock button, and a white city SUV flashed twice in the distance. Is this for your brother? Chen Yuling's eyes widened in novelty. She never thought that her family would have such a beautiful car. Of course, when Yuling grows up, I will give you one too. Chen Yang opened the car door excitedly. Fortunately, he had driven a fire truck for many years before crossing, and he could easily drive this SUV without a driver's license. Let's go home. Putting his sister in the co-pilot, Chen Yang kicked the accelerator and blasted out. After sending his sister home, Chen Yang drove the SUV to Gao Xiong's house under the surprised eyes of the neighbors. Since you want to have a banquet, how can you not call yourself a good brother? 10 minutes later, Chen Yang made a handsome drift and parked the car on the side of the road. Open the door. If you don't pay back the money, I'll destroy your house. Through the window, Chen Yang saw a few burly men standing outside Gao Xiong's house, holding steel pipes in their hands, blocking the door fiercely. What happened? Chen Yang got out of the car and walked over to ask, "Don't meddle in your own business. I'll beat you too." A bald man turned his head and sprayed at Chen Yang. Chen Yang almost laughed out loud. These thugs are ordinary people. Can they still deal with warriors? Boy, what are you laughing at? The bald man was violated by Chen Yang's audacity. Usually when people see him so big, who wouldn't walk around him? Even if you guys go together, I'm afraid you won't be my brother's opponent. Chen Yang didn't care. Your brother? Umph. Since you want to meddle in your own business, you can't escape even if you want to. The bald man waved his hand, and several other people immediately surrounded Chen Yang. You can think about it. You are not afraid that I will arrest you? Chen Yang took out the non-commissioned officer certificate of the joint team. Although he has not yet participated in the first assessment mission, his status is much higher than that of ordinary soldiers. What? Fool us with a broken book? The bald man looked at it and then laughed. I have heard of the joint army. What is the joint army? I don't know how to think about it if I fake it. Several people laughed at Chen Yang in front of them. Chen Yang suddenly realized that many ordinary people didn't even know about the joint army, let alone the joint team, and he was playing the piano to the bull. If there is anything you can talk about, otherwise you will be the ones who will suffer later. Chen Yang put away his documents and said calmly, This kid learns from others to practice chivalry, and he really considers himself a warrior. The bald man lost his patience and reached out to grab Chen Yang. Soon the bald man felt something was wrong. His extraordinary strength was unable to shake the boy in front of him. Whoosh! A black shadow that was hard to distinguish with the naked eye kicked the bald man's legs. The bald man was in pain, and his legs knelled on the ground involuntarily. Call me. The bald man lost face and cried out in pain. Several other people immediately raised the steel pipe and threw it at them. Chen Yang grabbed the steel pipe, and with a light force, the steel pipe was thrown out of shape by him. Bang, bang, bang. Before the big men could react, their bodies flew backwards, their backs hit the ground, and a shoe print appeared on their chests. The bald man's face changed drastically when he saw this. The young man in front of him was actually a cultivator. Let's go. The hero does not suffer from the immediate loss. The bald man stands up and backs away. The other big men ran away when they saw it and quickly got up and left. Fatty, what's going on? Chen Yang asked the window above his head. It turned out that Gao Xiong had been watching it for a long time. Pushing open the door, Chen Yang saw Gao Xiong with a bruised nose and a swollen face. No wonder this guy didn't open the door. It turned out he was injured. Who caused the wound on your face? Chen Yang was a little angry, and Gao Xiong was definitely the strongest brother in terms of good brothers. If someone dares to bully him, he must make the other party regret it. Oh, come in first. Gao Xiong sighed and told the whole story. The reason has to be mentioned after the gold-eating bugs mission. After Gao Xiong and Chen Yang finished drinking that day, they left separately. On the way, a young man suddenly stopped Gao Xiong and said that he had a task to entrust. Gao Xiong was overjoyed, and the two later made an appointment to meet in a tavern. That young man also needed the corpse of the gold-eating bug. Gao Xiong thought that he and the girl from before were both from the martial arts academy, so he accepted the commission. But Gao Xiong didn't dare to go alone. He planned to find Chen Yang with him the next day. The young man was not in a hurry. He insisted on dragging Gao Xiong to play and said he would pay the bill. Gao Xiong didn't refuse and went along with him. The two drank some wine and came to the entertainment club somehow. The young man encouraged him to play a few games, and he made a profit of fascia once. Chen Yang probably guessed what happened later. That young man must have been a trustee. Seeing that Gao Xiong had made a little money, he used the name of trustee to trick him into the entertainment club. Sure enough, just as Chen Yang thought, Gao Xiong lost completely in the end. When he regained consciousness from Jiujin, he not only lost all his money, but also owed hundreds of thousands. Gao Xiong's entire belongings were mortgaged. Seeing that he really had no money, he finally beat him up and ordered him to pay back all the money within a week. What followed was what Chen Yang saw. This group of scum, fat man, go. I will find a place for you. Without further ado, Chen Yang dragged Gao Xiong into the car. Brother Yang, forget it. They have a lot of thugs over there, and there are many people, so let's think of another way. Gao Xiong said listlessly. Who said there was going to be a fight? Chen Yang already had a plan in his mind. Wouldn't he be invincible in that respect with his talent for clairvoyance? Seeing that Chen Yang persisted, Gao Xiong couldn't resist, so he had no choice but to follow him out. Boarding. Chen Yang opened the car door. Brother Yang, where did you borrow this car from? Gao Xiong's eyes lit up when he saw it, and he kept stroking everywhere in the car with his hands. The leather seat is like a big sofa, very comfortable to sit on. This is my car. I said I will find a place for you. If you don't have any strength, how can you do it? Chen Yang turned on the music with a smile, and a familiar electronic sound beat in their ears. According to Gao Xiong's guidance, the two came to the entrance of the entertainment club. Chen Yang looked up and saw the word Big Rich written on it. The Wealthy Entertainment Club. Chen Yang smiled lightly. Whether he is wealthy or not, he will know later. On the way, Gao Xiong introduced several thugs he met in the entertainment club. Among them, the strongest one should be a high-level warrior, and he will soon break through to a great warrior. But if it's just a high-level warrior, Chen Yang doesn't care. Hello, welcome. Several beauties in burgundy uniforms stood at the door to greet him, and after entering the door, Chen Yang came to a resplendent hall. The top of the hall is decorated with an extremely luxurious diamond chandelier, and every wall column on the ground is also carved with intricate and exquisite patterns. Everything in the hall is golden. It is hard to imagine such a luxurious place in the outer city. Starting from the fourth floor is the club's entertainment items. There are various slot machines and lucky lottery. It's a bit like the Macau Wind and Cloud that Chen Yang has seen before. Hello, exchange 10 chips for me. Chen Yang took out his warrior card, walked to the front desk, and said. The front desk clerk saw that the other party was a warrior card and immediately accepted it respectfully with a smile on his face. A few minutes later, the service staff at the front desk brought a small golden plate full of chips with face values ranging from 500 to 10,000 yuan. Chen Yang counted, and it happened to be 10 yuan. Fatty, let's go. Chen Yang picked up the chips and walked into the main entrance of the hall together with Gao Xiong, who was wearing a mask. Let me be the gambler today. Chen Yang excitedly came to a table of poker. He casually looked at 2 rounds, and he was already confident in his mind. 10W. Chen Yang directly placed his chips in front of a pile of poker cards. This table is a match of suits. Chen Yang has already seen the suits of the cards clearly through perspective, so he naturally bets without hesitation. Brother Yang, that's not how you play bets. Gao Xiong felt a little uncomfortable when he saw that Chen Yang had put all the money away at once. It's okay, trust me. Chen Yang didn't care. The player wins. After the cards were played, Chen Yang really won the chips. Because of the multiple relationship, Chen Yang's 10 yuan has tripled. Brother Yang, why are you so powerful? Gao Xiong exclaimed, but it was only the first bet. He just thought that Chen Yang was lucky. Try another. Chen Yang came to a table of poker of different sizes. Big, all in. After Chen Yang saw the whole card, he put all his chips on it without hesitation. As soon as the cards were played, Chen Yang won all the chips again. Brother Yang, you are hanging up. Gao Xiong murmured in his heart. Chen Yang was too courageous. If he made a mistake, it would all be lost. Chen Yang's high profile caught the attention of the owner of the house. A steward looked at Gao Xiong and found it familiar. Isn't this the fat man who was beaten up a few days ago? Although Gao Xiong was wearing a mask, he was recognized by him, and he told Gao Xiong's identity to the middle-aged man in white beside him. In just 1 hour, Chen Yang has already won more than 1,000 million. I thought I would need to do tasks to earn so much money, but it turned out to be obtained in this way. Brother Yang, how did you do it? How can you win every time? Gao Xiong was already numb from looking behind. He had never seen anyone so powerful. Let's go, we've had enough fun. Since the master won't show up, we won't wait any longer. Chen Yang took Gao Xiong to exchange chips, but several big men in black suddenly blocked the way. Our boss is here. Please come with me. The leading man in black said. Why? You are not allowed to leave after winning the money. Gao Xiong shouted, and the sound spread throughout the hall. Seeing this situation, many guests came to watch. The expression of the man in black changed, because Gao Xiong's words made them a little embarrassed to get off the stage now. Boss, what should I do? The man in black asked with headphones on. Let them go first. The middle-aged man in white said calmly. Even if they leave this gate, the more than 1,000 million yuan is not so easy to take away. The middle-aged man in white motioned his subordinates to follow them, all of which was noticed by Chen Yang. Seeing that the chips had been changed, Chen Yang smiled at the man in black instead. Let's go. I just happen to be very interested in your boss. He must be a smart person to be able to open such a large entertainment club. The man in black was taken aback. He thought Chen Yang wanted to leave, but the other party took the risk instead, as if he was very sure. Boss, someone brought it here. The man in black invited them to the 5th floor. The 4th floor and the 5th floor are connected together, and there are many independent boxes on the 5th floor. Most of these independent boxes are for some high-value people to play. Gao Xiong's legs were weak all the way. Although he knew that Chen Yang was a warrior now, with so many people, a warrior might not be able to deal with it. Seeing Chen Yang coming in, the middle-aged man in white showed a trace of doubt on his face. For some reason, he felt familiar when he saw this face. A man next to him recognized Chen Yang's identity. He lowered his head and muttered a few words in front of the middle-aged man, and the middle-aged man suddenly realized. You are the number 1 Chen Yang in this martial artist assessment. It's a pleasure to meet you. The man in white asked the two to sit down. Number 1. Gao Xiong opened his mouth wide in surprise. He only knew that Chen Yang told him in the car that he had passed the martial artist examination and invited him to dinner, but he never expected that he was the number 1 in the martial artist examination. Thank you. Chen Yang sat down with a smile, and Gao Xiong's nervousness at the beginning eased a lot. My name is Zhang Hao. You can call me Brother Hao. I don't know where I offended you. Why did you come to my clubhouse to make trouble? Zhang Hao lay on the sofa, smoking a cigar, and asked, How can you call a disturbance? I won the money through legitimate channels. I didn't steal or rob it. There shouldn't be any problem. Chen Yang explained. But as far as I know, your brother just lost hundreds of thousands in my clubhouse. Do you dare to say that you didn't come to avenge him? Zhang Hao said slowly. Brother Hao, it's okay if you want to understand it this way. This only shows that I am lucky. After all, if I lose, I will definitely win. Such a big club can't afford to lose, right? What do you want? Zhang Hao asked impatiently. Let the person who cheated my brother apologize to him, and take the 1,000 million as an apology. Chen Yang said bluntly. You don't have to drink a toast. You don't eat fine wine. Don't you think that getting number 1 in the exam is just for yourself to be invincible? Third, teach me a lesson and let him know what society is. Zhang Hao said to another man sitting on the sofa. It's not good to fight too much, but I'm quite interested in his gambling skills. The man on the sofa stood up, and Chen Yang glanced at him. This should be the high-level martial artist Gao Xiong was talking about. Check the talent. Human, Zhang Xiongling. Cultivation talent, inferior talent. Special talent, super pitch, medium. It's kind of interesting, there is actually a special talent. Chen Yang thought in his heart. I won't embarrass you either. Compete with me and win 2 out of 3 games. If you win, you will take away the 1,000 million yuan. If you lose, keep the money, and I will also have one of his. Arm. Zhang Xiongling pointed at Gao Xiong and said arrogantly, The more than 1,000 million yuan was won by my own ability. Why should I agree to you? Chen Yang replied without raising his head. Then what do you want? Zhang Xiongling frowned and asked. If I win, I'll make the guy who tricked my brother last time kneel down and apologize. Oh, by the way, I want his arm too. He's shameless. Zhang Xiongling laughed. Why don't you dare? Chen Yang asked. I dare not. Ha ha. Okay, I promise you. Prepare a room for me. Zhang Xiongling said loudly. Third, are you okay? Zhang Hao asked. 1,000 million is the monthly income of the clubhouse. If it loses, how can Zhang Hao be reconciled? Brother, don't you know me yet? When did I ever lose when I played dice? Zhang Xiongling believed in herself. Soon, several people came to a VIP room. There's a table in the middle of the room, and 2 beauties are standing beside the table with red wine. There are 2 dice cups on the table, and 6 dice are placed in each dice cup. How would you like to play? Chen Yang sat on a chair and asked while playing with dice. Let's make it simple. Guess the size. You shake and I guess, and then I shake and you guess. Whoever guesses wrong loses, and 2 wins out of 3 games. Zhang Xiongling picked out 3 dice and said, "No problem." Chen Yang also took out 3 dice, and he motioned for Zhang Xiongling to roll first. Zhang Xiongling casually picked up the dice cup and spun it a few times in the air, then pressed it on the table. "Big." Chen Yang only glanced at it and said the result. Zhang Xiongling glanced at Chen Yang with a smile, opened the dice cup for 6-6. "It really is big. It's your turn." Zhang Xiongling gestured. Chen Yang also swayed casually, and the other party had a super sense of pitch. Since Zhang Xiongling chose the game of dice, it proved that he must be able to hear the points of the dice. Sure enough, when Chen Yang put it down, Zhang Xiongling said big characters without hesitation. "It's a bit tricky." Chen Yang's heart moved, and he thought of a solution. It was Zhang Xiongling turn to finish shaking. 3-3, 1 small. Chen Yang quickly reported the number. Zhang Xiongling paused. He doubted that the other party could also hear the number of dice. "It's my turn." Chen Yang raised the dice cup and shook it at will, but Zhang Xiongling face changed greatly because he only heard the sound of 2 dice, and the other one was totally deaf. "Guess." The dice cup fell, but Zhang Xiongling fell into thinking. He knows that the points of 2 of the dice are 3, 3, and if the other one is greater than 3 points, the sum is large this time, and if it is less than or equal to 3 points, the sum is small. What happened? Zhang Hao picked up a glass of red wine and took a sip. Seeing his third brother frowning, he immediately felt something was wrong. "Big." Zhang Xiongling no longer hesitated and directly guessed. "Good luck, it's big." Chen Yang opened the dice cup. Zhang Xiongling guessed right this time. "What's going on? Why did one of the dice lose their sound?" Zhang Xiongling was shaking and thinking. He used a unique skill to stand up 3 dice in a row. 2-3, 2 small. Chen Yang still called out the points quickly. Unwillingly, Zhang Xiongling opened the dice cup and saw 3 dice stacked together. When she picked it up, she saw that it was 2, 3, and 3 small. "Brother Yang, are you okay?" Gao Xiong asked in a low voice. "No problem, look at me." This time Chen Yang shook the table from side to side. Zhang Xiongling expression turned ugly again. He still only heard the points of the 2 dice. "Big." Zhang Xiongling could only rely on luck again. He couldn't imagine what method Chen Yang used to make the dice disappear silently. "Sorry, I guessed wrong." Chen Yang opened the dice cup, and the points inside were 1, 6, and 3. "Yeah, Brother Yang is amazing." Gao Xiong cheered, but Zhang Xiongling was a little nervous. "Don't worry." Zhang Hao wanted the third brother to calm down. This was the first time he saw anxiety when the third brother was playing dice. The atmosphere in the room suddenly became tense. "Is it even better?" Chen Yang asked. The reason why he was able to make the other dice shake silently was because he controlled the direction of the dice by using his talent of mind power. Zhang Xiongling was caught in a dilemma. The other party saw through her own advantages at a glance and found a way to break through. If she continued to play, not only would she lose all face, but she would also let others take away more than 1,000 million yuan. Zhang Xiongling thought for a long time and didn't know how the other party did it. But if the other party could change the dice points without making a sound, then no matter how he guessed, he would be wrong in the end. This is wronging Chen Yang, and Chen Yang can make the dice silent when rolling the dice. If he just left it like this and asked him to change the points, although he could do it, Zhang Xiongling would definitely hear the moment the dice landed on the table. "You're out of luck," Zhang Xiongling suddenly shouted. As soon as Zhang Xionglin's words came out, everyone in the room turned their attention to Chen Yang. "There must be evidence in everything. Otherwise, I will sue you for slandering me." Chen Yang was not in a hurry, but Gao Xiong shivered a little when he saw this scene. "You can control the dice. Even if I say the correct number, you can change it." Zhang Xiongling made sure, regardless of whether it was true or not. "Let's get back the face we lost first. It's not like you're going to lose. Are you playing a rogue? If you're worried, you can let these 2 beauties shake. I promise, you must be the one who loses," Chen Yang said with confidence. With the 2 great cheating tools of mind power and perspective, there is nothing he can't win. "Why are you talking so much? If you dare to cheat on my territory, hit me." Zhang Hao obviously didn't take Chen Yang seriously. In his perception, he was just a martial artist in a slum area, and there was nothing he couldn't offend. Zhang Xiongling also felt aggrieved by the loss. He lifted the table and kicked Chen Yang. "Fatty, protect yourself." Chen Yang punched through the table, and the fist hit Zhang Xionglin's soul like a bamboo shoot. Copy. There was only a click, and the moment Zhang Xiongling succeeded in copying her talent, Zhang Xionglin's right leg was also broken by this punch. Copy succeeded. In addition to Chen Yang's special talent, there is another talent of super pitch. Do not move. Seeing that the situation was not good, Zhang Hao took out his pistol and pointed it at Chen Yang. Chen Yang looked at the pitch-black muzzle, and his heart tightened. He didn't know whether his body could withstand the bullet. The surrounding bodyguards also pulled out their pistols, scaring the two beauties into hiding in the corner of the wall and not daring to make a sound. "I hate it when people point guns at me," Chen Yang calmly said. "It is really impossible. He can also condense water shield with water elements to resist bullets." Gao Xiong didn't know that Chen Yang had a solution, and he already regretted coming to find fault. "Hey, big brother, if you have something to say, talk about it. If Chen Yang dies, your club will not be able to continue," Gao Xiong said quickly. "Are you afraid now?" Zhang Hao pulled Zhang Xiongling up, only to see Zhang Xionglin's face was ferocious, and her thigh was very painful. Zhang Xiongling snatched Zhang Hao's pistol and pulled the trigger at Chen Yang without saying a word. Court death. Chen Yang's super sensor is so fast. The moment Zhang Xiongling raised killing intent towards him, he had already made dodge movements. Chen Yang rushed towards Zhang Xiongling like a cheetah. He raised his hand and swung his Yuan Qi fist. Zhang Xionglin's body was immediately sent flying like a bullet out of the chamber, even smashing through the wall behind. A woman's scream and a bodyguard's gunshot came from the room. Chen Yang seemed to be able to predict the location of the bullet. He made a series of dodges, and several bodyguards were quickly eliminated by him. In just 10 seconds, Zhang Xiongling lay on the ground uncertain of life or death, and the other bodyguards also lost their ability to fight, lying on the ground and crying. Only Zhang Hao was left standing in front of the flying table at a loss. "Third brother, are you okay?" Zhang Hao finally came to his senses. He hurried over to check, but he was exhaling more and taking in less. "Boss Zhang, you're threatening military personnel with guns. It seems that your wealthy entertainment club is closed." Chen Yang took out the ID of a joint team and said to Zhang Hao regardless of whether he understood it or not. Zhang Hao's face changed. The other party has such strength, so the certificate will not be falsified. Now he is really in trouble. "My lord, please spare us a lot. This time it's my fault. You can take the money as you please. I will never ask for another cent." Zhang Hao quickly apologized. "Fatty, what do you think?" Chen Yang asked. I could do anything." Gao Xiong was stunned by this reversal. The moment he drew his gun just now, he thought he was about to die. "That's it. If my brother meets you again next time, I will tear down your store. By the way, the person who fooled my brother, how to punish you is up to you." Chen Yang kicked open the VIP room door and walked out swaggeringly. Seeing Chen Yang walking away, Zhang Hao angrily punched the wall with his fist. "Come on, send me to the hospital." Zhang Hao roared. This time it was entirely because he didn't care about the headlines. Otherwise, he should have known that Chen Yang's strength was comparable to that of a junior martial artist, and his strength was almost 3,000 kilograms. After solving Gao Xiong's matter, Chen Yang took Gao Xiong to the tavern for a few drinks. "Brother Yang, am I useless? You have only been practicing for a month, and you have become a great martial artist, while I have been practicing for a year, and I am still a martial artist." Seeing Chen Yang stealing the limelight, Gao Xiong looked extremely disappointed. Chen Yang knew that Gao Xiong's talent was not that great, and that Zhang Xiongling looked 27 or years old. After practicing for so long, he was still only a high-level warrior, and his limit in this life was estimated to be a great warrior. Gao Xiong's talent is also very poor. If you want to improve your cultivation speed, unless you use gene potions and primordial stones, you may be a warrior for the rest of your life. Don't be sad. I will help you find a way. Chen Yang looked at the wine glass in front of him and suddenly thought of Yuan Li's control. Fatty, I'll give you an advanced combat skill when the time comes. If you practice according to the body tempering technique above, you will definitely be much faster than you are now. Chen Yang said quickly. Really? Gao Xiong raised his fighting spirit again, and he began to look forward to the advanced body tempering technique. There will be a banquet outside my house at noon and evening tomorrow, and you must come to attend. Chen Yang invited. Okay, Brother Yang, I'm sure I won't be late. Come on, Brother Yang, do it. Gao Xiong clinked his glass and agreed. When returning home, Chen Yang transferred 200 million to Gao Xiong, and the remaining 1,000 million was just a thank you gift for inviting the great martial artist. Third brother, how are you doing? In the hospital ward, Zhang Xiongling just came out of the emergency room. His legs were covered with white gauze, and half of the meridians in his body were destroyed by Yuan Qi fist. Now he is not even as good as a warrior. Brother, I'm useless. I feel like I can't practice anymore. Zhang Xiongling stared at the ceiling of the ward in pain. He who had hoped to break through to become a great warrior suddenly became an ordinary person. It's all my fault. It's all my fault. Looking at his younger brother's desperate eyes, Zhang Hao felt extremely painful in his heart. We must make him pay the price. A young woman beside the bed said with vicious eyes. That Chen Yang is a member of the United Force and is now a great warrior. Unless a high-ranking warrior is called to take action, he will definitely not be able to deal with the opponent. And even if he is really abolished, the people of the United Forces will not let us go. Your third brother has stumbled this time. Zhang Hao also wanted revenge, but was afraid of being found out by the joint forces. There must be a way. Brother, I know an assassin. He is a martial artist. As long as he is willing to pay a high price, he can definitely kill Chen Yang. The young woman planned. I know about the joint forces. They often go out of the city to perform missions. When the order is placed, let the assassin take action, so that even if we suspect it, we can't find evidence. Is this thing reliable? Zhang Hao asked. Definitely no problem, said the young woman. Okay, you can contact him to see how much it costs. We can't let it go like this. Zhang Hao said fiercely. He also realized how important it is to have a great warrior as a bodyguard. Master, hello? I have a goal, and I want you to take it. On the hospital roof, Zhang Qian took out her mobile phone and dialed a number. This number was overheard in a bar once, and Zhang Qian usually just kept it in her heart and would not use it unless there were special circumstances. It has been more than a year since she made this call last time, and it was because of this call that all kinds of troubles in the wealthy entertainment club were resolved. Name, Identity. There was a voice processed by a voice changer on the phone. Although Zhang Qian had cooperated many times, Zhang Qian didn't even know whether the other party was a man or a woman, and the confidentiality measures were very good. Chen Yang is number 1 in this martial artist assessment. His strength is at the beginning level of a great warrior, but he should be far behind the middle level. Each stage of a cultivator is divided into elementary, intermediate, and advanced. The physical fitness standard for a great warrior is 2,000 kilograms of strength, which is 1 ton. The strength of a martial artist is 10 tons, so the cultivation system defines 1 to 3 tons of strength as an elementary warrior, 4 to 6 tons of strength as a middle-level warrior, and 7 to 9 tons of strength as a high-level warrior. But the breakthrough is the martial artist. Chen Yang, if it's him, it's very troublesome. He has already joined the joint team. Is the joint team very powerful? Zhang Qian was puzzled. Ignorance. The joint team is the most powerful team in Yinqing, and only the city lord of Yinqing can hold them down. Only a master can. Zhang Qian opened her mouth. She knew that the lord of Yin City was a grand master. The grand master is an existence that ordinary people need to admire. It is said that the grand master can destroy the city wall with 1 punch and is extremely powerful, but the joint team is actually just under the grand master. After all, he just joined the joint team. Master, you should have a solution. Zhang Qian said unwillingly. Well, you can try it. The other side was silent for a while, then responded. Thank you, master. No matter how much money it is, I am willing. That guy made my younger brother a useless person. I just asked the master to let him die in pain. Zhang Qian said happily. Ordinary great warriors only have tens of millions. But if it's him, you have to add money. Maybe dash million. 100 million, good. Zhang Qian bit her lip and agreed without hesitation. Old rules. Put the deposit in that position tomorrow. I just want cash. Okay, the deposit must be delivered tomorrow. Zhang Qian hung up the phone excitedly. Although the price of killing Chen Yang was very high, she still agreed. In the ward, Zhang Hao saw his sister coming in and hurriedly asked how the situation was. It's been arranged properly, but the asking price on the other side is a bit high. Dash million. Zhang Qian said. 100 million. That kid can't be made of gold. Zhang Hao was startled. Zhang Qian quickly told about the joint team. I actually provoked the wrong person this time. But even if it's for extra money, I want him to die. Zhang Hao looked at his younger brother's miserable situation, but still became ruthless. Is it reliable? Zhang Hao asked. Because once they fail, they're likely to be retaliated wildly by the other party. Don't worry. He has been the one who solved our troubles all these years. His methods are clean and neat, as you have seen. As long as we die on the way to carry out the mission, there will be no doubt about us over there. Zhang Qian said confidently. That's good. I'll go raise money now. Zhang Hao turned on the phone, already condemning Chen Yang to death in his heart. Why do you feel a little flustered? In the middle of the night, Chen Yang woke up. There was a trace of cold sweat on his forehead. It must have been a nightmare. After washing his face, Chen Yang didn't feel sleepy at all. He returned to his room and began to practice Yuanli control. With the talent of deep learning, he understood many things that he didn't understand at a glance. What a talent! Chen Yang felt like he had turned on an accelerator. With this in-depth study and low-level comprehension cultivation talent, half of the content controlled by Yuanli was printed in his mind for a few hours. It was only at this time that Chen Yang realized that she possessed a photographic memory and a comprehension ability comparable to a computer. No wonder why you was able to become a professor of human body research at such a young age. Knowledge should be at her fingertips. Chen Yang felt that his perception of vitality was becoming more and more cordial. Through the talent of perspective, he could even see through the air and separate the vitality. In this state, Chen Yang absorbed vitality 2 or 3 times faster, and his body was quickly filled with vitality. Next is the limbs. Chen Yang began to use his limbs as containers, and as the vitality filled his arms and legs, he felt his strength had improved dramatically. When the sunlight hit the head of the bed, Chen Yang finally opened his eyes. A foul smell emanated from his body, which was the result of a body-quenching breakthrough. Chen Yang's body became tougher, and now, even if ordinary bullets hit his body, they would be stopped by his muscles. After several times of tempering, all the impurities in his body were excreted. Although he had only practiced for 2 days, he could clearly feel that his strength had reached 2 tons. After getting up and taking a shower, Chen Yang opened the door. The banquet in the slums is very similar to the countryside on the earth. The street in front of the house is already full of tables and chairs, and many middle-aged women are cleaning vegetables beside them. His parents were also busy downstairs preparing the drinks on the table. Seeing that he had nothing to do today, Chen Yang prepared the banquet together after breakfast. At noon, it was overcrowded, and many neighbors who were not very familiar with the Chen family also came over to grab a meal. Chen Yang smiled and didn't say anything. He will leave here tomorrow. After living here for so long, he actually misses it a little. Fatty, I'm moving tomorrow. This is my phone number. If you need anything, please remember to call me. At noon, Chen Yang and Gao Xiong toasted and said, Brother Yang, I also have a little money now, and I also want to take my mother to the inner city. Gao Xiong said, That's right. A villa is only about 10 million yuan. You must have no problem buying a community house. Chen Yang thought for a while and said, I'll take a look for you at that time, and if possible, I'll transfer you to the army. The joint team Gao Xiong is definitely useless, but if Gao Xiong becomes a warrior, joining the joint team should not be a big problem. Then, thank you, Brother Yang. Gao Xiong gulped down a meatball. As long as it was Chen Yang's arrangement, he was willing to accept it. After working all day, Chen Yang fell asleep exhausted. Although he didn't worry much, neighbors whom he didn't know came up to talk to him all day long, and just dealing with these people made Chen Yang flustered. The next morning, Chen Yang called a truck for moving. But Chen Yang and his sister had nothing except for a few clothes. There was only one unicorn left. "Mom, we're going to buy new home appliances, so we don't need these." Seeing that his mother was planning to pack the pot that had been used for 10 years, Chen Yang couldn't help feeling a headache. "Let's put these things here. Taking them over will make the house dirty." When Mother Chen heard this, she could only put down her things reluctantly. "Oh, I didn't expect to leave here." Mother Chen looked at the deserted room with emotion. "Life is always getting better and better. Let's go, it's time for my mother to enjoy the blessings." Chen Yang pushed Chen's mother into the car, but Chen's father didn't miss it. He was already waiting in the car. "Goodbye." Chen Yang looked back at his old home. From now on, he will start a new life. Driving the SUV, Chen Yang came to his villa for the first time. The villa is located in a high-end community. After passing through the exquisite gate and the neatly trimmed greenbelt, Chen Yang finally saw the villa assigned to him. There are not many villas in the community. Most of the people living here are family members of the army, and there are some leaders and so on. Chen Yang's villa is backed by a large lake, with lawns and greenbelts in front, and the air is very fresh. Chen's father, Chen's mother, and younger sister were stunned. They had seen such an exquisite residence there, and pinched themselves to see if they were dreaming. "Brother, will we live here from now on?" The younger sister looked at the 3-story villa with dull eyes. They're the only ones who are completely dissatisfied with such a big house, right? Let's go in, let's see what we need, and we have to go to the supermarket in the afternoon." Chen Yang took out the key and walked into the door. The decoration inside the house is simple, but not simple. To Chen Yang's surprise, the home appliances and furniture are all arranged, and he doesn't need to do anything at all. Before Han Chen told him that he could move in directly, he still didn't believe it, but looking at it now, he was really considerate. "Sister and I live on the first floor. She is inconvenient to move, so I could take care of her." Chen Yang thought about it and allocated the room. Parents had no objection, feeling the touch of high-end quilts and air conditioners of big brands. Chen's mother fell in love with this place instantly. It was another busy day. Apart from teaching his parents how to use home appliances, Chen Yang also accompanied them to buy many sets of new clothes. Of course, his happiest thing is to fill up the refrigerator with all kinds of drinks. If he is not a cultivator, he would like to become an otaku. After staying at home for 2 days, Chen Yang came to the warrior building again. His sister's paralysis has always been his heart trouble. Looking at the balance on the card, he decided to invite that Zhou Chu to try. The elevator door on the 18th floor opened, and Chen Yang walked over nervously. "Aunt Zhou," Chen Yang greeted. "I haven't seen you for a few days. You have become different." Zhou Chu put down the book in his hand, looked at Chen Yang Dao. Chen Yang felt a little nervous in Zhou Chu's eyes. "In just a few days, you have learned the body tempering technique controlled by Yuan Li. Your cultivation talent should be the best I have ever seen." "Thank you, Aunt Zhou, for your compliment." Chen Yang was a little helpless. He really had no secrets in front of this woman. "Tell me, what's the matter with me?" Zhou Chu asked. "I want to ask Aunt Zhou for help." Chen Yang told about his sister's situation. "Oh, there is such a thing." After Zhou Chu heard Professor was guess, a strange expression appeared on his face. "What are you going to use to ask me for help?" Zhou Chu asked. "A high-level primeval stone. I don't know if it's okay or not." Seeing that there was something going on, Chen Yang hurriedly said, "You're really willing, but I don't need that kind of thing. I have a commission. If you finish it, I will help you cure her." Zhou Chu said. "What commission?" Chen Yang asked. "I need the blood of the spirit fox." Zhou Chu Dao. Spirit fox. Chen Yang quickly recalled that after possessing the talent of deep learning, Chen Yang recorded the information of many fierce beasts in his mind to avoid unforeseen needs. The information about Linghu was quickly searched out by Chen Yang. This is a third-order ferocious beast. The number is very rare, and the place where they appear is also a certain distance from Yanqing. Chen Yang was a little embarrassed and even thought of giving up. Your sister's situation is very special. Her awakened talent is related to the brain. If Linghu's blood essence is used as a medicine, she is likely to awaken top talent. Zhou Chu seemed to see through what Chen Yang was thinking and said slowly. Chen Yang was taken aback. This entrustment was actually for his own sister? He really couldn't think of a reason for Zhou Chu to do so. And Zhou, don't you want to pay? Chen Yang was puzzled. Treating her is the best reward. Although Zhou Chu said something that Chen Yang couldn't understand, Chen Yang had already decided to hunt a spirit fox. If Ling Hu's blood essence can really help my sister awaken her talent, then she should get it no matter what. After Chen Yang thanked Zhou Chu, he drove to the base of the joint team, rested for a few days, and it was time to go to work now. After calling Han Shun brought Chen Yang to the team's conference room. You came just in time, and now there's a task that just serves as an assessment for you to join the team. Han Shun pointed to the screen in the conference room and said, "What mission?" Chen Yang looked at the strange faces in the meeting room. These were all team fighters who joined the mission together. This time, Yinqing has a batch of equipment that needs to be transported to the Guanghui base next door. It is inconvenient to disclose the contents of the goods. Because I am afraid of being attacked by flying beasts, I chose land transportation. Han Shen opened the map and drew out the walking circle. When Chen Yang looked at the road map, he happened to pass Ling Hu's territory. In addition to transporting goods, this mission also requires several researchers to go together. On the way, we need to pass through the territory of the Corruptor and the Spirit Fox. Both the Corruptor and the Spirit Fox belong to the third-tier fierce beasts, so we decided to send 5 great fighters and a mechanized unit. Apart from Chen Yang, is there anyone else who wants to take on this mission? Chen Yang looked at the others. They didn't seem to have any extra doubts about this task. I go, a short-haired beauty said. Chen Yang checked the talent of this short-haired beauty. Human, Lu Shan. Cultivation talent, advanced talent. Special talent, speed, top, clone, advanced. It's amazing it's actually able to clone. Chen Yang became very interested in this talent. Soon, the other 3 also chose to participate in the mission, and Chen Yang checked their talents one by one. Human, Choi He. Cultivation talent, advanced talent. Special talents, strength, medium, water, elemental, high. Human, Jiang Yu. Cultivation talent, advanced talent. Special talent, strength, advanced, petrochemical, advanced. Human, Sun Qian. Cultivation talent, advanced talent. Special talent, strength, medium, fire element, advanced. Hello, my name is Chen Yang, and I'm a newcomer. Chen Yang stretched out his hand and introduced. Soon, Chen Yang took this opportunity to copy all the talents of several people. Copy succeeded. Human, Chen Yang. Cultivation talent, low-level comprehension. Special talent, copy. Speed talent, low-level comprehension. There is a chance to comprehend the speed force. Strength talent, advanced. Ice talent, advanced. Water elemental, advanced. Fire elemental, higher. Bloodthirsty, top. Toughness, medium. Plan control, moderate. Coercion, low. Wind elemental, medium. Mindfulness, medium. Perspective, advanced. Teleportation, advanced. Super sensing, advanced. Space force, advanced. Deep learning, advanced. Super pitch, medium. Petrochemical, advanced. Clone, advanced. Well, I'll leave this task to you. After the task is completed, the task reward will be directly credited into your account. We're leaving tomorrow. Before that, you'd better get ready. Han Chen said to Chen Yang. Chen Yang nodded. As a rookie, he doesn't even have a weapon now, and even the battle suit he bought last time was destroyed by the bloodthirsty Mad Wolf. Brother Chen, does the team have any equipment that can be purchased? Chen Yang asked. Of course, I know that you have several million now. Come on, I'll take you to pick out weapons. Han Chen patted Chen Yang on the shoulder and led him to the special equipment warehouse. Master Fei, I'll bring the newcomer over to do some shopping. Han Chen shouted to the man on the chair who was scrolling through the video. Go in and pick. The man glanced at Chen Yang and pressed the password to open the arsenal. That is Zheng Yifei who manages the armory. We all call him Master Fei. If you have a good relationship with him, maybe he will give you special equipment in the future. Han Chen knew these people very well and introduced them to him as he walked. This gun is called Chen AK. It can be loaded with ordinary bullets or special bullets. The special bullets are more expensive, usually 201 rounds, and can cause damage to second-order beasts. Chen Yang took the Chen AK. This gun had a fierce shape, and the dark red gun body seemed to be stained with blood. Vulcan, a heavy weapon, capable of killing third-tier ferocious beasts with dash rounds of bullets. Han Shun grabbed a weapon similar to a heavy machine gun and threw it to Chen Yang. Chen Yang caught it and found that the heavy weapon was really heavy. He weighed it casually and weighed about 500 kilograms. By the way, can you use a gun? Han Shun asked suddenly. He almost forgot that Chen Yang was from a slum area, and he might never have touched it in his life. A little bit. Chen Yang recalled that when he had not become a firefighter and joined the army before crossing, he was most familiar with sniper rifles. Do you have a sniper rifle? Chen Yang asked. Yes, it is more expensive. Han Shun took out a black sniper rifle with a touch of technology. MS-24, we call it a heart hunter. It could take away a tier-monster with one shot, and the price is $1,000,000. Forget it, I can't afford it. Chen Yang quickly shook his head. Good things are really expensive. Forget it, I'd better get a combat uniform first. That's easy to say. We have tier-team uniforms specially prepared for great warriors. These clothes are almost impenetrable to beasts below tier-. Han Shun pointed to a set of gray team uniforms on the wall, and Chen Yang touched it with his hands. The material should also be extracted from ferocious beasts, and it is very resilient. How much is this? Chen Yang asked in a low voice. 100 million. Han Shun replied indifferently. Fortunately, I can accept it. Chen Yang chose this team uniform. For weapons, I'd rather use a knife. I'm more used to it. Chen Yang thought for a while and said, although some thermal weapons are powerful, they are also very expensive. On the contrary, cold weapons can combine vitality to erupt even more terrifying power, which is incomparable to hot weapons. If you don't think it's expensive, you have a good weapon. Han Shun thought for a while and brought Chen Yang to a red and black alloy knife. This knife is called Poison Stinger. It is forged by combining the alloyed elemental stone and the tail thorn of the elite corroder. It is not only sharp, but also has a corrosive effect when it is injected with vitality. It can almost kill beasts below the 3rd level in seconds. Han Shun caressed the knife fondly. Before he became a martial artist, he was also a loyal user of this knife. From your description, isn't it cheap? Chen Yang muttered. It's only 500 million. If you really can't afford it, I can lend you some. Han Shun laughed. This price is indeed much cheaper than thermal weapons, and the price-performance ratio is super high. It can even fight against 4th-order beasts if used well. Okay, this is the knife. Chen Yang took the stinger. The 1.4-meter knife length is very suitable for his height. 1/3 of the surface of the blade is plated with primordial stone, and after the vitality is injected, the blade glistens with a dark green light, which is very oppressive. Holding the handle of the knife for a while, Chen Yang was very satisfied, and then he picked out a team backpack and a few fog grenades. Master Fei, I have chosen. Chen Yang put the equipment on the table. Zheng Yifei glanced at it and nodded. Swipe your card. Are you going out to do a mission? Well, I took an escort mission just now, and I have to go through the territory of the 3rd-order beast, so come here and choose some equipment. Chen Yang replied truthfully. That's right, it has great potential. Generally, newbies don't dare to fight against tier-ferocious beasts. Seeing how brave you are, I'll give you a thunderbolt grenade. Maybe it will be useful. Zheng Yifei took out a blue grenade from under the table and said, Thank you, Master Fei. Chen Yang accepted it happily. Tomorrow's task must be careful. Seeing that Chen Yang had brought all the equipment with him, Han Shun told him. What happened? Chen Yang asked in puzzlement. There used to be a passage between Glorious Base and Yinqing, but some time ago, the stations in the middle suddenly lost contact. We only know that the corruptors attacked the station, so we sent you to escort this time. In short, life comes first. If you encounter something force majeure, you must protect yourself first. Han Shun patted Chen Yang on the shoulder. Okay, Brother Chen. Chen Yang smiled. With the talent of space power, his escape would definitely not be a problem. Seeing Chen Yang walking away, Han Chen shook off the unease in his mind. I hope I'm overthinking it, Han Chen Nan said. Back at the villa, Chen Yang packed up everything. I don't know how long it will take to go, but when I come back from this mission, my sister's leg will be healed. I have to try my talent. I have copied too much recently, and I don't have time to master it. Chen Yang thought about it. Among the talents copied so far, there are power of space, teleportation, clone, and petrification, which he has never tried. Fortunately, he has deep learning, and it shouldn't take too much time to master these talents. Try petrification first. Chen Yang activated his petrification talent, and a thick layer of rock suddenly appeared outside his body. In this rocky state, he felt that he was extremely powerful, but his speed had dropped a lot. He then attempted to control the rock to do more manipulations, eventually learning the ability to partially petrify. Part of the petrification can protect various places, such as the chest, which is harder than the team uniform. Next, try to clone, Chen Yang muttered in his heart, and when he opened his eyes, another Chen Yang appeared in front of him. Chen Yang felt that he could control two bodies at the same time without distinguishing between them. This state is very strange. Chen Yang wanted to control more clones, and finally set the number of clones at 5. The time to control the avatar is related to the vitality. Once the vitality is exhausted, the avatar will disappear. This is a good thing. Not only can it be used to save lives, but it can also accomplish more unexpected things. Chen Yang began to think about whether that Lu Shan was himself or a clone. It only took Chen Yang 3 hours to learn the two talents. After dinner, Chen Yang began to practice the power of space. Chen Yang stared at the lawn in front of him and teleported silently. Soon he felt that he had entered a wonderful realm. When he came back to his senses, his body had already appeared on the lawn. It took 1 second. Chen Yang looked at the time, and he was quite satisfied with the result. In order to avoid being detected by the camera, he found an empty space. Teleportation is just a usage of the power of space. Chen Yang quickly learned to control the disappearance and appearance of objects, and even cause space cracks to tear the surrounding objects apart. This ability is too strong. Currently, Chen Yang can only manipulate space cracks of tens of centimeters, and doing so consumes extremely fast vitality, and the vitality in his body is completely sucked in a few seconds. Half an hour later, Chen Yang had almost recovered, and finally only the talent of teleportation remained. Mind teleportation and the power of space have the same effect. Both can teleport objects. The difference is that one relies on mental strength, and the other relies on vitality. Chen Yang constructed the scene he wanted to reach in his mind, and with the faint tingling of his brain, Chen Yang appeared in the bedroom of the villa. Try again. Chen Yang was constructing his old home in his mind, and he raised his finger, and a circle appeared in front of him. The circle is like a portal, with the bedroom of the villa on one side and the living room of the old home on the other. 10 seconds later, Chen Yang felt extremely tired. He waved his hand to make the circle disappear and sat down on the bed. With this teleportation, can't you go wherever you want? Chen Yang thought excitedly. This talent and the power of space are a perfect match. This night, Chen Yang was still practicing. The speed, dozens of times faster than other practitioners, allowed Chen Yang to see the growth of his strength every day. Early the next morning, Chen Yang informed his family that he was leaving. The parents didn't feel anything, but the younger sister was a little worried. I'll be back soon, and your leg will be healed by then. Chen Yang comforted him. Brother, be careful. Chen Yuling hugged Chen Yang. Haha, I'm not bragging. It's hard for your brother to die, even if he wants to. Chen Yang waved to his sister and then drove to the army. At 9 o'clock in the morning, the gate of the Joint Force was already full of soldiers. There were Dash soldiers and 10 armored vehicles accompanying them this time. Each armored vehicle was equipped with a heavy machine gun. It was the Vulcan that Chen Yang saw yesterday. The government pays for all the weapons consumed by the troops, except for the warriors of the joint team, who need to purchase their own equipment. Everyone is here. Everyone should be clear about this mission. In addition, I will say a few more words. At the entrance of the troops, an officer in dark green military uniform stood in front of the mechanized team and explained the goal of this operation. Chen Yang took a look. His position was quite high. He was actually a colonel. Hua's military ranks are divided into 9 ranks. From bottom to top are second lieutenant, lieutenant, captain, major, lieutenant colonel, colonel, major general, lieutenant general, and general. There are only 4 colonels in the entire Yinqing. The mission can be arranged by the colonel. Chen Yang suddenly feels that it is not as simple as he thought. Not even sending a martial artist? Is it really a test? Chen Yang was a little puzzled. If there were 4th-order ferocious beasts, with their strength, they could barely deal with one. The only thing that comforted Chen Yang was that only tier-beasts had appeared in the passage between Yinqing and Guanghui base. Maybe this is also the reason why only 5 great fighters were sent. Your first task is to escort the convoy's items and the 3 researchers to the glorious base. And the second task is to investigate as much as possible the reason for the loss of contact at the 3 sites. The colonel spoke for about half an hour, and when Chen Yang was drowsy, he finally finished speaking. Set off. The colonel gave a military salute, and Chen Yang and others followed suit. And then the team began to move towards the south gate of Yinqing. The road from Yinqing to Guanghui base is very solid, but there will still be fierce beasts accidentally destroying it, and it is inevitable to encounter potholes on the road. The marching speed of the mechanized troops is not fast. The Guanghui base is more than 200 kilometers away from them. According to the current speed, it will take at least 4 to 5 hours to reach them. Chen Yang was resting on an off-road vehicle. The occasional bumps made Chen Yang very uncomfortable. Cui Shi, can I ask how many times you participated in the mission? Chen Yang asked boredly. This road is very long. If no one chats, it will probably be boring to death. This is the 8th time I joined for half a year. Cui Shi didn't seem to like chatting very much and stopped talking after answering Chen Yang's question. It's boring. Chen Yang regretted riding in the same car with her, and he was so indifferent to answering. Chatting is not as good as practicing. Cui Shi felt Chen Yang's dissatisfaction. She took out a military tablet and handed it to Chen Yang. If you're bored, you can take a look at this. There are drones patrolling on it. You can observe the road conditions by controlling it. But be careful, you can't fly more than 10 kilometers. It was very interesting for Chen Yang to take over the tablet. Military drones, playing with this kind of thing is much more interesting than practicing. Have you never liked to talk? Chen Yang opened the tablet and asked. It should be, I don't have many friends. Cui Shi thought for a while and said. Chen Yang glanced at Cui Shi. This girl with shoulder-length short hair was beautiful, and she looked very energetic in the women's team uniform. Chen Yang guessed what happened to her. Otherwise, she should be a very popular beauty. The military unmanned reconnaissance aircraft can fly for half an hour. Chen Yang controlled it to the sky above the off-road vehicles, and the entire convoy came into view immediately. Chen Yang controlled the drone to overtake the convoy, and it found a few small black spots in the distance in the sky. After a closer look, it turned out that other people were monitoring the road. It seems to be approaching the site. Chen Yang saw a few houses surrounded by iron railings, and many places have been torn apart. Everyone is ready to get off the car and investigate. The armored vehicle at the front also found a distant site, and the commander notified all soldiers and team members by radio. After a few minutes, the team stopped. Chen Yang jumped out of the car and took a look. The site was dilapidated. As Han Chen said, it had already been attacked by fierce beasts. This road should be the safest road. How could it be attacked like this? Zhang Yu took out a map, and he measured it. It was less than kilometers away from the corruptor's territory. Besides the corruptor, there are other beasts who have been here. The 3 researchers inspected every detail under the protection of the soldiers. The strange thing is that the blood left by the battle is pitifully small. I don't know if it is because of the time that it has faded. Okay. Chen Yang found a strange spider foot on the ground and searched for information about the beast he had seen, and the word poisonous mountain spider emerged. Come and take a look. There seems to be traces of poisonous mountain spiders here. Chen Yang shouted to several researchers. It's really a poisonous mountain spider. The 3 researchers analyzed the information on the spider's legs, and they were amazed. The place where the poisonous mountain spider lives must be hundreds of kilometers away, because the nearest nest has long been cleared by the army. The poison ridge spider is an ordinary tier-ferocious beast. Although its level is not high, its characteristics make the enemy suffer frequently. The tails of the poison ridge spiders store a large amount of toxins, and they often commit suicide by exploding the poison sacs on their tails and eventually corrupt their opponents with the toxins, making them hard to defend against. There are still traces of the gold-eating insects gnawing on them. The soldiers stationed here may have all entered their stomachs. After listening to the discussion of the three researchers, Chen Yang seemed to feel nauseous. That is to say, there are three kinds of fierce beasts: gold eaters, corroders, and poisonous mountain spiders gathered here. How is this possible? The beasts will not cooperate with each other. Lu Shan expressed her opinion. Let's go. I always feel a little unsafe here. Sun Xian looked around, surrounded by mountains. No one knew if there were any beasts hiding behind the hills. Unless it's a beast tide, this kind of situation has happened, but the beast tide has only passed for more than a year, so it shouldn't be so fast. The three researchers discussed and seemed not to want to leave immediately. Let's take pictures first and keep them. There are 2 more sites behind. It's not too late to stop by then. Sun Qian suggested. If this is the case at the latter 2 sites, I think it's better to figure things out at the first site. It will be more dangerous to be caught between the territories of the Corruptor and the Spirit Fox. The commander of the convoy analyzed. Well, I know it's not that simple. Lu Shan sighed. Studying the situation here is not something that can be completed in a short time. If the speed is fast enough, it may be possible to reach the glorious base later. Did you hear anything? Chen Yang pricked up his ears, and various viscous breathing sounds from the mountains came into his ear holes. There's no sound. Lu Shan looked around suspiciously. Chen Yang forgot that they did not have a super sense of pitch, and only he could hear them clearly at such a long distance. Leave quickly. I also feel that it is not good to stay here. Ever since hearing that breathing sound, Chen Yang had an ominous premonition. But researchers disagree, finding a strange cloud of fluid that doesn't belong to any of the beasts. This discovery is very likely to solve the reason why the site was attacked, and the commander agreed to stay. Don't worry, even if there are gold-eating bugs, our Vulcan is not a vegetarian. The commander is very confident in his equipment. He feels that even if there is no great warrior, the tier-beast is no match for him. Fine. Chen Yang decided to control the drone to search for it along with the sound. He wanted to see what was in the mountains. The drone can't fly halfway. The ground is full of bushes, and the trees are densely packed, and the drone can't come back when it flies forward. Damn, just a little bit. Chen Yang looked at the screen annoyed. At this distance, he could only see the top of a tree, but all the scenes under the tree were blocked. After more than an hour, the researchers finally collected various clues and unknown liquids. We'll set off after dinner. If we're lucky, we should be able to arrive at the base before 6 in the afternoon. The commander arranged the itinerary. Chen Yang and the others had no objection. They ate a bowl of compressed rice indiscriminately, and everyone went on the road again. Sir, the front is blocked by a boulder. 10 minutes later, another unexpected situation occurred on the road. Chen Yang got out of the car and took a look. It was not blocked by boulders. This was simply a mudslide. The road was full of large and small stones and mud. What about this? The commander also ran into a problem. The boulders could be blasted with explosives, but the large and small rocks were not easy to clean up. Within 2 hours, the road could not get out at all. Clear the roadblock, commander ordered. It's over. It will take another 2 hours. Chen Yang lamented that it was a bad start. No wonder no news reached the base in Yanqing. It turned out that the road had been completely blocked. A few minutes later, the bomb exploded the boulder, leaving a field of stones waiting for soldiers to clear them. They just have to be able to let the convoy through, and it's not particularly difficult to clean up. After more than an hour of cleaning, the road surface is finally much smoother, and after a while, the convoy will be able to pass. We seem to be surrounded. Chen Yang suddenly felt something was wrong. There is also a viscous breathing sound in this mountain range, and this sound became more and more clear, as if it was approaching the entire convoy. "Where are the beasts?" The commander picked up the binoculars and looked at the hillside, but found nothing but thick leaves. "Sir, look here." The team's infrared system suddenly found countless small red dots around them. They quickly approached, and soon they were only a few hundred meters away from everyone. "Monster! Get in the car! Get in the car! Prepare to defend!" The commander yelled, and he climbed onto the roof himself to unleash the Vulcan. "It's the poisonous mountain spider." Chen Yang saw the enemy clearly. The poisonous mountain spider was the best beast to kill, provided they were not allowed to approach. Chen Yang finally knew why there was a sound of breathing behind the hillside. The poisonous mountain spider was probably behind this mountain range. "Commander, there are too many poisonous mountain spiders. I suggest using fire to attack." Chen Yang shouted. Thick smoke billowed from the muzzle of Vulcan's gun, and the bullet exploded on the poisonous mountain spider like a bamboo. Many poisonous mountain spiders died on the way before going down the mountain, and even those that slipped through the net were wiped out by other soldiers. A few minutes passed, and the poisonous mountain spiders did not seem to decrease at all. The commander understood the importance of the bullets. If all the bullets were used on the poisonous mountain spiders, the fierce beasts behind might not be able to deal with them. Use petrol bombs. Soldiers fired a volley of petrol bombs, and many trees were set ablaze in an instant. Chen Yang and the others didn't do anything, but looked at the poisonous mountain spiders. The flames burned quickly when they met the trees, but the poisonous mountain spider still rushed towards the fire without hesitation. Soon everyone smelled the smell of burning corpses. Split half of the people to open the way and the others to be vigilant. The commander felt more at ease looking at the raging fire. But soon the back of the road was also full of poisonous mountain spiders, and this time the effect of the petrol bomb was much worse than before. Many poisonous mountain spiders braved the fire and rushed to the front of the cordon, and the commander had to order the use of Vulcan again. Otherwise, when the poisonous mountain spider exploded, the cordon would collapse in an instant. Where are there so many poisonous mountain spiders? Sun Qian casually took a gun and fired nonstop at the back of the road. The barrel of the gun was so hot that it was smoking. "I suspect that there's a nest of poisonous mountain spiders in this mountain range. The army must burn this mountain." "Jiang, you said. Crazy. This is dozens of kilometers. Are you going to destroy everything you can see?" Lu Shan disagreed. "These things are the military's business to worry about. Now our mission is to stop these spiders and buy time for other soldiers." Cui Shi also took a gun from the convoy, and they quickly cleaned up the approaching poisonous mountain spiders. "The gold-eating bug is here." When Chen Yang heard a familiar voice, he fixed his eyes and saw that there was darkness behind him, and it was the carapace of the gold-eating bug. "How much longer?" Chen Yang asked anxiously. To be attacked by so many ferocious beasts in such a place, the ammunition brought by this mechanized convoy may not be able to last to the glorious base. "I'm going to help." Jiang Yu dropped his gun and rushed behind him. He jumped high from the roof of the car and petrified his body in midair. After petrification, he was so powerful that he swept many stones to both sides, and after a few minutes, a passage was cleared. "Everyone get in the car. Petrol bombs are waiting in the rear." The commander ordered, and soon the rear of the convoy was ignited again. 10 Vulcans opened the way, and all poisonous mountain spiders and gold-eating insects that approached were all pierced. The convoy increased its speed to the fastest and was about to escape the encirclement, but a Tirdash beast corruptor appeared in front of it. Does the beast have wisdom? How can they cooperate so tacitly? Chen Yang looked at the corruptor who forced the convoy to stop in surprise, and he began to suspect that the roadblock was caused by a ferocious beast. This was the first time Chen Yang saw the corruptor with his own eyes. The corruptor has a monstrously shaped head. Many parts of its body seem to be stitched together from charred organs. There are many tentacles on its body, and each tentacle can release a gas that corrodes metal. But the most dangerous thing is its tail thorn, which is extremely sharp, and the prey that is stabbed will be injected with a more toxic liquid. Once contaminated with this liquid, the flesh and blood will corrode and melt in an instant, which is also the origin of the name Corruptor. It's time for us to do it. Lu Shan took out a sniper rifle from the car. Chen Yang didn't know how much this gun cost, but just by looking at the bullets of a sniper rifle, he knew it was definitely not cheap. Boom! Lu Shan aimed quickly. Although she had the physique of a great warrior, her shoulders still trembled slightly. The targeted Corruptor was shot in the head, and even if his body fell down, more than a dozen tentacles were still moving forward. Great! Chen Yang praised that this weapon is really worthy of its price because it can kill a tier-beast with one shot. These are ordinary corroders. Their strength is around the level of elementary and middle-level warriors. They can be killed directly with special bullets. Lu Shan explained. How much is this special bullet? Chen Yang couldn't help asking. 100,000. Lu Shan aimed and fired again, and the Corruptor was headshot to death before he even had time to react. The corpses of the Corruptors must be burned, otherwise their tentacles will absorb the power of their companions, and they may evolve into elite Corruptors. Lu Shan shouted to Sun Qian. Okay, leave it to me. There was an extra flame in Sun Qian's hand. When he blew on the corpse, the flame immediately turned into a pillar of fire and wrapped the corpse inside. Jiang Yu is also unscrupulous after petrification. Although the attack of the corroder can cause damage to the rock, Jiang Yu can replace the corroded part at any time. He rushed forward and punched one by one. Although he didn't kill him, the Corruptor's body was also thrown flying. Fire. The commander controlled the Vulcan heavy machine gun to shoot nonstop at the Corruptors. The newly replaced special bullets beat the Corruptors' bodies to pieces. Before Chen Yang could make a move, half of these Corruptors were killed. It's time for me to make a move, or I'll be said to be lazy. Chen Yang took out the stinger, and his body rushed in front of the Corruptor in an instant. Without extra movement, under his 2 tons of strength, the stinger easily cut through the Corruptor's tentacles. Chen Yang, who fell into the swarm of Corruptor beasts, should have been the most dangerous existence, but the super sensor made Chen Yang seem to have eyes around him. No matter where the Corruptor attacked him from, Chen Yang was able to save the day, which surprised people. Shi looked at Chen Yang wandering among the beasts with a hint of surprise on her face. She knew that Chen Yang was just a rookie, but she didn't expect this rookie to be so courageous. Almost forgot to check the talent. Chen Yang only cared about dealing with the Corruptors, but forgot that fierce beasts could also be copied. Check talent. Beast, Corruptor. Cultivation talent, Advanced talent. Special talent, Fusion, Advanced. Decomposition, Advanced. Copy talent. Chen Yang grabbed a tentacle, and just as he copied his talent, the Corruptor's tentacle emitted a thick poisonous mist. Copy succeeded. Chen Yang quickly retreated, and in just a second or two, the Corruptor was shrouded in poisonous mist. I can't see. Lu Shan put away her sniper rifle, and the road ahead turned into a green poisonous mist, and this poisonous mist was still extending over. Retreat, retreat. The commander was a little flustered. The muzzle of Vulcan's gun swept the poisonous fog in a flurry. Many Corruptors were shattered by special armor-piercing bullets, but soon the wreckage touched by their tentacles gradually merged with the Corruptors. Chen Yang was able to clearly see the situation inside through his talent of perspective. Only then did he realize that the power of the Corruptor lies in its fusion and its poisonous mist. With this layer of poisonous fog, it is difficult for even great warriors to get close to them. It's careless. Chen Yang discovered that the best way to deal with Corruptors is flames, but ordinary flames cannot burn Corruptors to death. Only the fire element of practitioners can do it. Those dead Corruptors were absorbed and fused by other Corruptors, and the remaining Corruptors became bigger. If it wasn't for maintaining the poisonous mist, their speed would not be weaker than the Great Warrior. Sun Qian, you have to use the fire element to inflict damage on them. Chen Yang shouted to Sun Qian. After hearing this, Sun Qian felt a lot of pressure. His vitality could only last for half an hour. If these Corruptors could not be dealt with in half an hour, the entire team would be in trouble. Me and you together. A ball of flames also burst out from Chen Yang's hand. Sun Qian was overjoyed when he saw it, and he sprayed the pillar of fire into the poisonous mist without hesitation. The poisonous mist was actually released by the corruptor's decomposition talent. Although ordinary flames could not break through the area of the poisonous mist, with Chen Yang's fire element, most of the poisonous mist disappeared in a short time. Lu Shan hurriedly set up the sniper rifle. The corruptor's body was huge, and every bullet Lu Shan fired could accurately hit the corruptor's body. It's a pity that the corruptor's tentacles blocked the sight of the sniper rifle. After merging with the bodies of their companions, their reaction speed has also been greatly improved. Oh, the bullet passed through the tentacles and exploded on the corruptor's body. The strength of the tentacles became so great that the special bullets of the sniper rifle were deviated from the track by the impact of the tentacles, causing no fatal damage. After finally getting rid of the two corruptors, Lu Shan put away her sniper rifle with an ugly face. She was running out of bullets. The fire element burned all the corpses on the ground, and the corruptor's body, which could not be integrated with its companions, became irritable. They stretched out their tentacles and entangled with the armored vehicle, and the huge force actually lifted the tail of the armored vehicle high. Can't give them up. Brothers, use grenades. The armored vehicle at the rear of the convoy was stuck in place, and the commander quickly adjusted his strategy. Various high-explosive grenades exploded the tentacles, but more disgusting tentacles emitted poisonous fog and enveloped the armored vehicle. What? The armor of the armored vehicle was decomposed by the poisonous mist, and several soldiers inevitably came into contact with the poisonous mist. Their battle uniforms were corroded, and their flesh and blood were soon separated from their bodies. That armored vehicle was completely surrounded by corruptors. Even the bones melted into bone water. Chen Yang couldn't bear to see the soldiers die tragically. He used his fire element talent to the extreme. Although he repelled the corruptor, the lives on that armored vehicle could no longer be saved. Hateful. Chen Yang regretted why he hesitated to use teleportation to send the armored vehicle away. Originally, these soldiers would not have to die. Sorry. Chen Yang and Sun Qian finally burned most of the tentacles, leaving only a few corruptors still chasing after them. They evolved. The last few corruptors became even more ferocious after merging with the bodies of their companions. The tentacles were like ferocious giant snakes, and each attack could punch a big hole in the road. The Poison Ridge Spider and Gold Eater are catching up. The front of the convoy was forced to stop. Chen Yang looked behind him, and sure enough, countless gold-eating insects were rushing towards the convoy like ants. Chen Yang realized something was wrong, and now the team was surrounded again. They are about to evolve into the strength of high-level warriors. Lu Shan looked anxiously at the remaining corruptors. We need to lure the corruptors away, or they're too much of a threat to the convoy. Chen Yang shouted. Then let's separate from the convoy. Cui Shi decided. Okay. Commander Yang, let's deal with the corruptor, and I'll leave the rest of the beasts to you. Jiang Yu quickly made a choice. He entered a petrified state, and his whole body was like a huge wall blocking the corruptor's path. Eat my punch. Jiang Yu raised his giant rock hand and slammed it at the corruptor, but this time he clearly felt the resistance on the other side. More than a dozen tentacles blocked Jiang Yu's giant fist together, and Jiang Yu's petrified blow only repelled the corruptor more than 10 meters away. Be careful of tail stabs. Lu Shan quickly reminded. The current corruptors are no longer as vulnerable as they first appeared. After evolution, they seem to have changed their bodies. Lu Shan doubts whether Jiang Yu's petrification can block the tail thorns. Jiang Yu also felt the crisis. He also didn't dare to try easily, so he retreated quickly to avoid the attack of the tail stab. The tentacles of the other corruptors took this opportunity to entangle Jiang Yu. Jiang Yu felt bad, and it was difficult to break free with his strength. Hurry up and help. Chen Yang grabbed the stinger and rushed towards Jiang Yu. The stinger injected with vitality was extremely sharp, and he cut off the tentacles without expending too much effort. At this time, a few tail thorns came over again, Shui's face turned cold, and a wall of water suddenly appeared around Chen Yang. A drop of water wears a stone. For the first time, Shui used his water element to the extreme in front of everyone, and tens of thousands of water droplets suddenly condensed in the air, and they turned into water needles and pierced the corruptor. The water wall blocked the attack of the tail thorns. Chen Yang and Jiang Yu retreated to the side, only to see countless water needles piercing the corroder's body into a hedgehog. The evolved corruptor was also pierced by the little water needle, and Chen Yang quickly threw a ball of flames to burn the body. 5 more. Chen Yang quietly used the wind element and the power of space. A corruptor wanted to attack him, but the tentacles and tail needles on his body suddenly stopped in the air. Chen Yang's poisonous sting cut the corruptor in two, and the ugly head rolled in front of Jiang Yu and was crushed by his foot. The attack of the wind element and the short-term imprisonment of the power of space made it difficult for the corruptor to threaten Chen Yang. Although it looked easy, Chen Yang's vitality was also consumed extremely quickly, and this attack method would be repeated 7 or 8 times at most. The vitality is enough. Chen Yang calculated that the remaining 4 corruptors were already corpses in his eyes. Just when Chen Yang was about to deal with the next corruptor, he suddenly stood on his head. His back was pricked like a needle, and a pair of extremely terrifying eyes stared at him. Chen Yang looked up, and there was a black figure far away on the top of the hillside. Its demeanor was very similar to that of humans, but Chen Yang would never believe that there were humans in this kind of place. What happened? Seeing that Chen Yang was frozen in place, Jiang Yu wondered. Chen Yang blinked, and when he looked again, the figure disappeared. Super musical. Chen Yang took the initiative to use this talent. He was absolutely right just now. There must be something on the mountain. This is very likely the reason why the site was attacked. Just when he was about to look for the traces of the black shadow, he heard a loud noise from the hillside. Based on the sound analysis, this guy is probably an enhanced version of the corruptor. The corruptor suddenly became extremely violent, and Chen Yang finally saw who it was, a 4th-order ferocious beast, an ancient one. How could such a guy appear here? Lu Shan and Shui, she exclaimed. This strange creature with a height of 5 or 6 meters has a huge eyeball on its star-shaped head, and its pupil-like body is covered with dense pores. Chen Yang thought of something about the relationship between the corruptor and the ancients. The ancients are a group of fierce beasts with some wisdom. Their mucus can emit inexplicable viruses. It is said that the corruptors were once controlled by the ancients. Is it true that the corruptors are just parasitic beasts controlled by the ancients, and there is actually a lair of the ancients behind this mountain range? Chen Yang was even more curious about the black shadow just now. What was that black shadow? It was able to travel freely in this mountain range, and even 4th-order ferocious beasts were not hostile to it. Shall we run? Sun Qian was out of breath, and after using the fire element for a long time, only 1/5 of his vitality was left. Where are we going? On one side are gold devourers and poisonous mountain spiders, and on the other side are corroders. Could it be that we're going to run up the mountain? Lu Shan said angrily. Let me deal with the ancient one. I have the top speed talent, so I should be able to get rid of it. The rest of the corruptors are left to you. As soon as Chen Yang finished speaking, the corruptor let out a roar, and at some point, they merged into the same living body. Elite corruptor. Chen Yang clenched the stinger in his hand. His weapon was forged from the stinger on the body of the elite corroder. Can you do it? Shui, she said, uneasy. Or let me go, I have a clone. Lu Shan spoke out about her talent. Of course, Chen Yang knew that Lu Shan had the talent of doppelganger, but he couldn't express it directly. There are several hoses on the ancient man's body. Each hose has a diameter of tens of centimeters, and the inside is full of sharp white teeth, which should be where it absorbs energy. The lower body of the ancient man grabbed the ground like a tree root. Chen Yang did not hesitate. He threw a fireball provocatively, and the attention of the ancient man was immediately attracted by Chen Yang. Lu Shan, use your avatar to deal with this elite corruptor, I'm sure. Speaking of which, Chen Yang ran up the mountain. His goal was the direction where the black shadow disappeared. Seeing that Chen Yang had left, Lu Shan was no longer pretentious. Her avatar was indeed not very useful, but it was quite useful for entanglement with the corruptor. Lu Shan turned into 5 clones and saw that each clone had an extra high-explosive grenade in her hand. She planned to use suicide to cause damage to the corruptor. 5 clones rushed towards the elite corruptor from different directions. Its IQ was not high. When it saw a prey coming to its door, a tail thorn stabbed at one clone without hesitation. The avatar barely avoided the tail thorn, and the tail thorn rolled back, but the avatar couldn't dodge in time and was still caught. Lu Shan's expression remained the same. She was the clone who was going to die anyway. She opened the high-explosive grenade, and the high-explosive grenade exploded in front of the tail thorn a second before her body was disintegrated by the tail thorn. The elite corruptor was in pain. Half of its tail exploded, and many tiny tendrils came out of the wound to connect the broken tail together. In just a dozen seconds, more than half of the broken place was stitched up. Difficult. Jiang Yu immediately realized that the body and strength of this elite corruptor had surpassed them by a lot, and it would not be easy to defeat it. The suicide attack caused the corruptor to take precautions, and its tentacles emitted a more intense poisonous mist. After a while, the surrounding area within 20 meters fell into the range of the poisonous mist. The gunshots became farther and farther away, and Chen Yang had already entered the mountains. For others, this behavior is tantamount to death, but Chen Yang is confident. Whether it is teleportation or teleportation, he is sure to escape from here. But these are not Chen Yang's goals. He knows that it is very difficult to kill this ancient man with his teammates, but the combination of his multiple talents may be able to deal with this terrifying beast. The ancients chased Chen Yang in a jumping way. Chen Yang saw that he was far enough away, and no one would have seen him using his talent at this time. Teleport. After Chen Yang filled the poisonous thorns with vitality, his whole body disappeared from the sight of the old man. The old man was stunned, and a blade emitting dark green light pierced the heart of the old man. The blade seemed to be piercing the steel. Fortunately, the tip of the blade was forged by the elite corruptor's tail thorn. Under Chen Yang's unexpected attack, the blade still pierced the body of the ancient. Break down! Chen Yang used his decomposition talent at the same time. The venom's corrosion and decomposition talent double destroyed the internal organs of the ancient. The ancient screamed in pain, and his 5-star-shaped brain kept opening and closing. I'm amazing. Chen Yang just had the attitude of giving it a try, but he didn't expect the ancient man to be seriously injured with one blow. It's like stabbing a cow to death with a utility knife. As long as the vital points of the beast can be destroyed, killing them will become easy. The ancient man's huge eyeball was bloodshot. Apparently, the poisonous thorn's corrosive effect and decomposition talent made the ancient man very uncomfortable. The old man used the hose to attack Chen Yang indiscriminately. Chen Yang teleported away, and the whole person fell on the tree and fell from the sky. The wind element made Chen Yang as fast as a sword, and he used plant control and the power of space to imprison the ancient. Although the ancient's strength reached more than 20 tons, his body was still deadlocked for more than a second. Taking advantage of this second, Chen Yang unleashed a blow with all his strength, and the poisonous stinger pierced the ancient man's eyeball, and the ancient man's head exploded under the pressure of the force of space and the huge impact from the sky. Oh, that's all. At first, Chen Yang felt that the ancients were particularly terrifying, but as a result, the opponent didn't even have room to play and was dealt with by Chen Yang's 2 teleportation. Check talent. Beast, the Elder. Cultivation talent, top talent. Special talent. Strength top, speed, top, coercion, top, spiritual pollution, top. Seeing the information of the ancient, Chen Yang was secretly amazed. It turns out that I blamed you wrongly. You actually have the top-level coercion talent, and the most powerful talent is actually mental pollution. Fortunately, I didn't give you a chance to make a move. Chen Yang touched and copied without hesitation. Copy succeeded. Human, Chen Yang. Cultivation talent, low-level comprehension. Special talent, copy. Speed talent, low-level comprehension. There is a chance to comprehend the speed force. Strength talent, top level. Ice talent, advanced. Water elemental, advanced. Fire elemental, higher. Bloodthirsty, top. Toughness, medium. Plan control, moderate. Coercion, advanced. Wind elemental, medium. Mindfulness, medium. Perspective, advanced. Teleportation, advanced. Super sensing, advanced. Space force, advanced. Deep learning, advanced. Super pitch, medium. Petrochemical, advanced. Clone, advanced. Mental pollution, top level. Strength talent is also top-notch. Chen Yang clenched his fist excitedly. Every upgrade of strength talent can bring Chen Yang an increase. Now Chen Yang's full blow should be able to cause about 4 tons of force. Chen Yang wanted to take a deeper look. Ordinary ferocious beasts could no longer threaten him, but it was the black shadow that aroused Chen Yang's strong interest. I don't know where it went. Chen Yang regretted that he didn't have the talent to check the black shadow. Otherwise, he would have known what it was. Huh, is something coming? Chen Yang quickly hid. He heard the sound of tree branches trembling from another direction. The sound was getting closer and closer, and it was obviously coming towards him. Is that black shadow about to appear? Chen Yang clenched the stinger tightly, and then activated the talent of perspective. With the talent of perspective, the trees in the entire mountain range turned into transparent lines. Chen Yang ignored all the complicated lines and soon saw a figure running on the tree. It's actually a human? Chen Yang was puzzled. Through the brightness of his dantian, he could be sure that the human being in front of him should be a martial artist. But how could the martial artist appear here? Could it be that the team sent martial artists to protect themselves? Chen Yang didn't dare to express his anger. He was afraid that the fact that he had killed the ancient man would be discovered. It would be too exaggerated if it was spread that a great junior martial artist killed a 4th-rank, ferocious beast comparable to a junior martial artist. The martial artist running up the tree finally stopped above Chen Yang. He looked at the corpse of the ancient man on the ground with a surprised expression. Damn it, who killed the ancient? Could it be that there are other martial artists here? The visitor was wearing a mask, and Chen Yang only needed to raise his head to see through the face behind the mask. But he didn't do this. The ghost knows how alert the martial artist is. If he feels his gaze from such a close distance, it will be uncomfortable. We have to find that kid quickly, or we may not have a chance to kill him later. Although the masked man was talking to himself, his voice was very small. Chen Yang could tell it was a woman. Although the mask had a voice changer, he recognized it quickly with super pitch. This person is not the black shadow I saw before. Chen Yang still remembered the cold sweat on his back when he was stared at by the shadow. In just a few words, Chen Yang couldn't get too much information. But what the masked woman said made him uneasy. Kill that kid. Who was that kid? Could it be me? Chen Yang didn't know when he had offended a martial artist, but the masked appearance of the other party obviously didn't want others to know his identity. No, I have to test her. Chen Yang walked out and looked up at the masked woman. Who are you? The masked woman was startled. Her eyes were sharp, and she was overjoyed when she found that Chen Yang was under the tree. Ha! It doesn't take much effort to get here. Did you kill this ancient man? The masked woman didn't make a move immediately. She was worried that another martial artist was also nearby. The monster? Yes. Chen Yang nodded in recognition, but all his energy was focused on this woman. Forget it. I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you. The masked woman suddenly launched an attack. She held a dagger on the right side and cut at Chen Yang's neck. Chen Yang kept staring at the woman's movements, and a second before she launched an attack, he felt a great sense of crisis in his body. Chen Yang narrowly dodged the dagger. He took a few steps back and looked at the woman puzzled. Why are you killing me? The woman was surprised that Chen Yang dodged her blow. She turned around slowly and looked at Chen Yang. You have some skills, but you can escape my blow. I am surprised by your talent. But you have to complete the commission after receiving it. Let you be a fool. You were too presumptuous a few days ago. Before the woman finished speaking, she threw the dagger out, and the dagger faced Chen Yang's heart. This time, Chen Yang was negligent for a moment. His attention was attracted by the woman's words, and he hadn't reacted when the dagger flew towards him. Petrochemical. Chen Yang hurriedly used rocks to protect his heart. only to hear a loud bang, and the dagger plunged into Chen Yang's petrified chest. "Little brother, my sister can't bear to kill you." Seeing that Chen Yang hadn't died after being knocked to the ground by the remaining force of the dagger, the woman felt a little appreciation. "Why don't we make a deal? I kill your employer, and you act like nothing happened." Chen Yang spat out a mouthful of blood and said "That's a good idea, but unfortunately you know my gender, so I can only kill you." The woman walked slowly. The dagger was inserted into Chen Yang's petrification and almost pierced his heart. Hearing the woman's reason, Chen Yang wanted to spit out another mouthful of blood. She was the one who exposed it herself, so how could it be blamed on him? "But my sister has another way. I will give you 2 choices. I have a bottle of heart-biting pill. You can either eat it and become my puppet, or be killed by me. To be honest, a genius like you, it's a pity to die. You might as well take my heart-biting pills and work hard for my family in the future. When you want money, you have money, and you want status. You can choose even women." The woman walked up to Chen Yang and said while playing with the other dagger, "How about I give you 2 choices? Chen Yang suddenly laughed. "Oh," the woman wondered. "The first choice is death. The second choice is death." Chen Yang, who fell on the ground, suddenly jumped up. The woman felt a sharp pain in her brain, and her eyes began to blur. "Damn it, mental attack, you can't keep it." The woman closed her eyes and stabbed at Chen Yang with all her strength. This time, the dagger finally penetrated into the heart, and the blood was all over the woman's mask. "I really can't keep you." Chen Yang in front of the woman disappeared, and a knife blade, glowing with dark green light, pierced the woman's chest. Space confinement, coercion, mental pollution, corrosion, decomposition. Chen Yang's figure appeared behind the woman, and as the internal organs were pierced by poisonous thorns, the battle was over. It turned out that Chen Yang used his avatar talent when he heard a woman talking to herself, which is why he chose to show up and talk routinely. If the woman's target is not her, then everyone is happy. If it is really him, then she has to accept the price of being killed. Copy talent. Human. Shaoling. Cultivation talent. Top talent. Special talent. Speed. High gravity. Top. Looting top. Copy succeeded. Chen Yang breathed a sigh of relief. He immediately checked the woman's talent. To be conservative, he manipulated the avatar step by step to let the woman relax her vigilance, and the final blow would kill her. It was within Chen Yang's plan for a woman to die before she could even use her talent. Chen Yang found a clean place and sat on the spot to recover his vitality. The continuous fighting made Chen Yang's vitality almost dry up. If he hadn't practiced Yuanli control, Chen Yang would have used his teleportation ability to escape long ago. I don't know what's going on with Cui Shi and the others. The 4 great warriors should be able to deal with an elite corruptor, right? Chen Yang hurriedly cultivated. If any new situation appeared at this time, he probably couldn't face it. After more than half an hour, Chen Yang opened his eyes. At this time, the vitality in his body was almost full. He looked at the direction, and there was no hope of chasing that black shadow. Chen Yang quickly returned along the way he came. The talent of gravity makes Chen Yang as light as a swallow. He only needs to use a little force, and with the acceleration of the wind element, Chen Yang quickly returns to the previous battlefield. There were more than a dozen corpses of soldiers left on the road, but more were the remains of ferocious beasts. The army should be full and left. Otherwise, there's so many wreckages, just picking up a little bit and putting it on the car is equivalent to a huge sum of money. Chen Yang tried to use his space talent to store the wreckage of the beast, and it took almost an hour until there were very few wreckage left on the ground. According to the traces of the convoy's departure, Cui Shi and the others should have defeated the elite corruptors and headed towards the glorious base. Chen Yang packed his luggage and chased after him. It was almost 6 o'clock at this time, and it seemed that it would be very difficult to reach the Guanghui base today. Coupled with the continuous battles, everyone must have a rest. Chen Yang guessed that the convoy must be camping at the second site. After chasing for half an hour, Chen Yang finally saw the shadow of the convoy. As he thought, the team chose to settle at the second site. They're still 2 hours away from the glorious base. After passing through the last Linghu territory, the escort mission will be completed. Chen Yang. Lu Shan noticed Chen Yang's appearance immediately. She rubbed her eyes. It was really him. Hearing Lu Shan's voice, the other teammates ran out of the house at the station and waved their arms happily when they saw Chen Yang come back safe and sound. "Are you okay?" Lu Shan was the first to run in front of Chen Yang. She looked around and found no scars. Other team members also ran over to watch. Seeing that Chen Yang was fine, Sun Qian punched Chen Yang in the chest. "You boy, worry about us to death." Sun Qian said gratefully. "I said I run very fast." Chen Yang rubbed the back of his head in embarrassment. He couldn't tell his teammates that he had many talents and killed the ancient. "Right? How did you escape?" Chui Shi asked excitedly. "That's it. I have a few fog grenades. I chose a place with a cave and sneaked away with a fog grenade. And during the escape, because of the great mental pressure, I seem to have some breakthroughs." Chen Yang found an excuse to explain. "It can't be like this next time. We are teammates, and we should discuss things carefully." Chui Shi choked up a little. Okay, next time for sure," Chen Yang said foolishly. "By the way, why didn't you see Jiangyu?" Chen Yang looked at the people in the site, but did not find him. Jiangyu is dead." Sun Qian and the others showed sad expressions, and Chen Yang was taken aback for a moment. Although it was only the second time they met, Jiangyu's character of being ready to go to trouble still left a deep impression on him. Isn't he talented in petrification? How come? Chen Yang was puzzled. The elite corruptor is too powerful. Jiangyu sacrificed himself to create a chance for us to kill. For him, he didn't even leave his body. Lu Shan shed a few tears and explained. Chen Yang probably guessed the cause of Jiangyu's death. Although the petrification is powerful and the defense is extremely high, the elite corroders have surpassed them by too much power. Even the petrified Jiang, you may not be able to prevent the tail stabs of the elite corroders. Condolences? Chen Yang lowered his head sadly. Actually, he has a chance to kill the elite corruptor so that Jiangyu doesn't have to die. But in this life, he is carrying a family on his back. He dare not take the risk of becoming a different kind. He is afraid that his family will be threatened. He had also sacrificed for the people before, but this time, he wanted to be selfish once. Am I wrong? Chen Yang thought in confusion. Maybe everyone can get through this mission safely if he tries his best, but his family will definitely be threatened in the future. Because his talent is too perverted, people will always be jealous of people who live better than themselves, and he dare not take risks. Only by becoming stronger can I protect everything. If I have the strength of a master, so what if I am an enemy of everyone? Chen Yang is eager to improve himself at this moment. He needs to copy more talents, and he needs to practice faster. Oh, let's not talk about it. You haven't had dinner yet. Go in quickly. We just have dinner. Lu Shan forced a smile and said. Chen Yang nodded and walked into the site. He saw the tired eyes of the soldiers, and his heart was touched again. The higher the cultivation level, the more talents the cultivator will have. When he breaks through as a martial artist, Chen Yang can reveal another talent he copied. Only then can he hide himself better and protect those around him better. After dinner, the commander decided to rest for the night and set off tomorrow. It is difficult to detect danger in time when driving at night, and practitioners also need to recover, so the troops set up tents on the spot. Chen Yang sneakily found the body of the elite corruptor. Check talent. Beast, elite corruptor. Cultivation talent, top talent. Special talent. Strength top, speed, high. Fusion, top. Decomposition, top. Copy talent. The copying was successful, and the fusion of strength and talent was successful. Chen Yang trembled all over, and he felt that his physique had improved rapidly again. Human, Chen Yang. Cultivation talent, low-level comprehension. Special talent, copy. Speed talent, low-level comprehension. There is a chance to comprehend the speed force. Strength talent, low-level comprehension. There is a chance to comprehend the field of power. Ice talent, advanced. Petrochemical, advanced. Clone, advanced. Mental pollution, top level. Decomposition, top level. Fusion, top level. Strength field. Chen Yang discovered a new word appeared on a virtual light curtain. It turns out that once the talent breaks through the top level, one can comprehend the power of the field. He didn't know what the speed force was at the beginning, so it seemed that the speed force existed like a domain. Chen Yang, what are you doing here? As soon as Chen Yang walked out of the place where the elite corroders were stored, she came face to face. I'm curious, so come have a look. Chen Yang explained that he couldn't say that he came here to steal talent. Aren't you going to sleep tonight? She said, I can't sleep. I'll watch the meeting tonight and then go to sleep. Chen Yang responded, It's okay, let's talk. I thought you didn't like chatting? Chen Yang showed an exaggerated expression. No, I just don't know what to say. Sometimes I feel like I'm alone. Maybe it's because of my talent. I prefer to be quiet. She laughed. What about now? Chen Yang asked puzzledly. I'm curious. Why did you dare to stand up alone at that time? Chen Yang finally knew what she wanted to say. Maybe I'm more confident. Chen Yang found a simple excuse. You're not like a great warrior who has just broken through. Your strength and courage are stronger than the soldiers of the army. Really? Thank you, beauty, for your compliment. Chen Yang laughed. Let's move somewhere else. It's weird standing here. Chen Yang looked around. Would others think that the two of them were having a private meeting later? She nodded. She rarely talked to boys, but facing Chen Yang, she didn't have any resistance for some reason. Can you tell me why you joined the team? Chen Yang asked curiously. It was an accident. A group of soldiers just saved me when they were on a mission. I later found out that it was a joint team, so I swore that I must join the team. She recalled. Did something bad happen to you as a child? Chen Yang glanced at Shi, and there was an inexplicable sadness in her eyes. It's all in the past. In this era, many practitioners have done some illegal things for resources, and our family has unfortunately encountered it. So you want revenge? Just live like this. I'm quite curious about you. You are the first great warrior who dares to face the Fourth Order beast directly. Aren't you afraid of death? I'm afraid. Chen Yang pursed his lips. But isn't Jiang Yu too? He also saved everyone. What if I say I saw someone chasing you? She suddenly changed the subject. Hearing these words, Chen Yang's body trembled. She was also there at the time. Everyone has secrets. If you don't want to say it, I'll pretend I didn't see it. She said lightly. Chen Yang was silent. It must be that after killing that woman, his vitality was exhausted, so he didn't notice someone approaching him. Please help me keep it a secret. I don't want people to know that I have multiple talents. Don't worry, I won't say anything. Shi looked up. Chen Yang chatted with Shi for a few words without end. This was the worst news he had heard, but Chen Yang didn't know how to keep this secret. How did she know? Did she follow me all the time? Chen Yang never thought that Lu Shan let Shi follow him because she was worried after seeing Chen Yang lead the ancient away alone. Because of the distance, although Shi saw what happened, Chen Yang didn't perceive it either. She didn't choose to say anything, but quickly returned to the convoy, and Jiang Yu's tragic death followed. Chen Yang didn't know what she wanted to express in the conversation with him tonight. He shook his head, and he forced himself not to think about Shi's words. In the middle of the night, except for the soldiers on guard, everyone else fell asleep. Chen Yang opened his eyes. This place is not far from Ling Hu's territory. He wanted to get Ling Hu's blood essence at night. Without further ado, Chen Yang teleported and disappeared at the site. The second site is about kilometers away from Ling Hu's territory, and it only takes half an hour for Chen Yang to reach it. The talent of gravity acts on the whole body, and Chen Yang rushed to the location drawn on the map like a feather in the darkness. In order to save energy and vitality, he spent an hour looking for the spirit fox. Spirit foxes are ferocious beasts with relatively strong mental power, and it is very easy for Chen Yang to kill them. With just one teleport, he can take the heart of Ling Hu. Just when Chen Yang had identified the target and was about to strike, a group of spirit foxes made strange movements. Chen Yang held back for a while. He found Ling Hu running up the mountain one after the other, as if they were queuing up. Surprising. Chen Yang was frightened by this scene. Could it be the legendary Huang Pizzi? Seeing Ling Hu running away gradually, Chen Yang hurriedly followed. After about 10 minutes, Chen Yang saw a strange cave. The reason why it is strange is that there are flickering lights in that cave, and a human-shaped shadow sways left and right on the stone wall. Why is there anyone here? Chen Yang was startled. He turned on the talent of perspective, and the lights in the cave turned out to be flames. Damn it, the beast will still use flames for lighting. Chen Yang looked along the figure, and when he found the appearance of the figure, his body was struck by lightning. That figure was exactly the black figure that disappeared on the hilltop during the day. Chen Yang carefully confirmed that this black figure had a face that looked exactly like a woman's. Chen Yang quickly searched for monsters with human faces in his mind, but he searched left and right several times, but he couldn't find any information about monsters with human faces. What a fool! If you check your talent, you will know whether it is a human or a ghost. Chen Yang scolded himself for being clumsy, for being so flustered in the face of this black shadow. Check the talent. The black shadow information suddenly appeared in front of Chen Yang.